Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight on this panel show, we have Stu Woolley and Mark Langridge. Guys and girls, tonight we're going to have a topic, and we will talk a little bit about Michael Carrick. And for me now, it seems like the question is stability or predictability. Man United have played 3 games now, and we set up in our usual, if I can call it, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 formation. And the structure is working, the roles are clear, and the momentum is building really well. But with every match comes more footage, more analysis, more opponents preparing to disrupt Man United's best. And the key question is simple but decisive. Do you stick with what's working or tweak the setup before it gets figured out? We will go into this, Stu, Mark, and I, and we will also cover some of the latest transfer news because it was transfer deadline day today. Yeah, as expected, nothing happened. We will talk more about the game yesterday, the great win against Fulham, 3-2 winner by Benjamin Sesko. In the 90-something minutes. That was also fantastic. But I want you guys involved. I want your opinions on what Carrick is supposed to do in the next couple of games. Is he supposed to tweak things up? Or should he just stay with the recipe? Never change a winning team is the old saying. So guys, girls, we will go into it. Smash the like while you wait. Subscribe if this is your first time on the Tactical Devils. And all that jazz. So see you in a bit after the intro. Yes, boom, 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 and the Tactical Devils are live. No, well, it's not working. What I'm doing? It's only me on stage. Oh, I had the guys on stage. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay. So, yeah, it's good to have you guys back. And, we have won 3 in a row, and Man United are doing really well at the moment. So then I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm starting to ask questions in my head. And I want to know, as you heard in the intro, should Michael Carrick change it up or should he stick with what works? We will come to it. First, let's say hello to the panel, and afterwards we will say hello to the viewers. So first of all, Stu, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm aching today. As I said, in the green room. Went jogging. I can't remember whether it was yesterday or Saturday, actually. So I think it must have been Saturday. And I'm suffering a bit today, but I shall be back in action tomorrow night. There's a little bit of barrel scraping going on again, Jarvis. So he's been called out again. After tomorrow night's show, I'll be going straight to footy. Back again with the lads on Wednesday. Charity match at some point over the weekend as well. I think we're raising money for children in need. So I'll keep you in the loop on how that's going. But yeah, apart from that, spirits are high, old friend. Spirits are high.
It's good to hear. And how's your spirit, Mark? I heard you attended yesterday's game. Was it a good atmosphere?
It was a weird, scared kind of atmosphere. It really was. I heard you guys saying it felt flat, and it's always picked up different on the mics around the pitch, but it was a sort of scared atmosphere. Like, how's this one going to go? Obviously, we had the protests before, and things leaked into the ground because of that, I think. But all in all, no, it was a bloody long day. Up at 5:15, I think it was. Back home at 11:15 at night. So, yeah, a long day, but more than worth it. And for my youngest nephew, who we took, so the 4 of us went. What a game to go and see. There's nothing better than a last-second winner at Old Trafford, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. I see Noradin is in the chat. Noradin, I will send you the link. Just give me 2 seconds. I will open up WhatsApp and
Sean
get right on it.
Sean might be able to make it as well. He's not 100% sure yet.
Cool. We can have a
But
full
he's
panel. That's no worries, because this is kind of a heavy topic, so it's good to have more voices. And I just want to get going. But first of all, I want to say hi to everybody who's tuned in. We have Tom Porter in the house, Catherine Non Nonsense McDade, Jamie Wayne. Big up, Jamie. I hope you're well. Irish Pit Terrier. We have Danny B, Grace Sheridan. Big up, Grace. Good to see you. And we have Iron Titanium. Yeah, I said his name. We have Das 007. Coming in, we have, yes, as I said, Noradin. We have Eddie Football Waffle. Big up, Eddie. Hope you're well. Cool. And we have John Edmund. Big up, John Edmund. We have Darren Mac YK2GD, and all of the rest of you legends. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. So let's just delve into the topic of the evening, and we can just roll around and talk a little bit about the game and then all of the rest of it. And late arrivals, 77 Retro LP and Nick T. Big up. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys a question, because we have set up in the regular 4-4-2 formation, or 4-2-3-1, or whatever you want to call it. We have been cautious. We have been set up very narrow. We have the same press pattern. And I also, I have some worries when it comes to the distance between our midfield and defense. Our centre backs tend to drop a little bit too deep when we are trying to press. So it's something disjointed in all of this setup. We saw some weaknesses, some cracks in the Carrick aura yesterday. But my question to you guys is, now we have Spurs coming up. Thomas Frank will obviously analyze this game. He will have more footage. He will have the Arsenal game. He will have the Manchester City game. And now there are some data on Man United and how Carrick is setting up. So we won't come with a surprise anymore. So now we will see the astuteness of a up-and-coming manager. How big is his playbook? And should he start switching it up for not becoming predictable? Over to you, Stu.
Well, I think he should switch it up. I say bring back Onana, go back to back three. Bring back Højlund, and start from scratch again. I think you should always switch it up. No, I'm only joking about that, obviously. No, I would say I would just switch it up against Fulham anyway. I would have put Sesko on from the start. That we discussed it, Jarvis, on Thursday. We were both quite vocal that we both wanted Sesko up front because we felt he would be a bigger danger than Mbeumo, and it showed. We were bullied for most of the game by bigger, stronger players, but technically we were better than Fulham. Technically footballer-wise, we were better than Fulham, but that doesn't always win your football matches. Being technically better, what wins your football matches is aggression and that want and that will. And we talk about it every time we speak about Manchester United. And there were areas of the game which you pointed out where Marco Silva exploited our weaknesses, and there were areas of the game where we took out Marco Silva. So it was a very interesting match from a tactical point of view to watch. I've seen it over again. I haven't really changed my opinion on my viewpoint while watching it live. I thought we set up okay, but on the same token, I thought we were easy prey for Marco Silva. And I watched what you were talking about stretching the fullbacks, stretching the centre halves, and I totally agreed with you on that one. And I saw a bit of a vintage display from Casemiro at the same time, popping up in all the right places, tackling in all the right places. I saw the energy and dynamism of Bruno. Cunha again, yes, he lost the ball more often than not, but when he was called upon in the right areas, he was as dangerous. I mean, he's a proper Manchester United footballer. I've said it before. Same with Mbeumo. I rewatched my Ahmad a little bit as well, and I said that he drifted in and out of the game yesterday. I was praising him for a few things, eating his lunch on a few things as well. Same with Maino. So look, I thought a more I guess experienced manager like Silva was always going to, challenge Carrick in the way that we set up. But I think we've got a lot of good things that Steve Holland has brought in to the team already. Their positional sense is much better. Dallows in particular, I can't quite believe what I'm seeing. His overall, position was decent yesterday. But I think there are times where you do have to shake it up. I think you're right. I think Thomas Frank will employ a Brentford-style performance against us. I think he'll push us high. I really do. I think the difference between midfield and the two centre halves it's too long. It's about 30 yards, 20 yards at every given time. And I think that is too much. But we do have a goalkeeper that can sweep up at the back, so we don't have to worry about the ball over the top anymore because he can come out and claim it. So we can push a bit closer to our midfielders. So I would change it anyway. I would mix it up against Tottenham, absolutely. I would 100% bring in Sesko again. I would start him. There's no Mickey van der Ven, I don't think. I think Tottenham,
no, I think he's injured. Yeah,
I think Tottenham are missing all of their, apart from Romero, aren't they? All of their first choice fullbacks and wing backs. Polina in that right centre half yesterday. But they've got some very good players. Gallagher had a stellar performance against City. He stood out quite well. Can't believe I'm saying that. I thought it was Xavi Simons stood out well. I thought Archie Gray played very well. They've got a good team, but I think we might get lucky, Jarvis and Mark, and play Tottenham at just the right time in terms of their personnel. But I would make that change. I would definitely 100% bring in Sesko. And I'm sorry, everybody, I would take Ahmad at the team. And I would go with the Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko style with Bruno sitting in behind them, Mainu, and then Casemiro. I'm toying with the idea, and I'm just struggling with what I would do with Luke Shaw. That's my only issue. Normally, I'll be wondering what I'd do with Dallo and you put Mazzari in. I'm wondering whether to take Luke Shaw out and put Mazzari in.
But we don't have a left winger, so Mazraoui is right-footed. Could be an issue, maybe we'll be too lopsided.
It's my worry. Yeah, it's my worry. It is. But if when we were talking about it last night, old friends, we were talking about the gap and the space that was available to Fulham. And luckily for us, and Mark will tell us a bit more, and I was speaking to Jake about it last night as well after the show, and he was saying that Harry Wilson, which funnily enough was linked with a move away, wasn't he, from Fulham today, which was really interesting. He didn't go, he stayed. But if he'd been on his game, and Chukwueze as well had been on the game, we could have faced more severe problems. So I do believe that maybe we need to plug a bit of a hole on the left-hand side. How we do that, I don't know.
No.
But I would make changes. No problem at all.
Yeah. So Mark, again, okay, Carrick hasn't played exactly the same in the 3 games. In the first game he played a back 3 with Luke Shaw tucking in and Dallo bombing on. In the second game, he played like Casemiro dropping in between the 2 centre backs, and both our fullbacks bombed on. And in this game, we saw Dallo tucking into the back 3. So there are minor changes. I'm not saying that we are stalemate in every game. But I think that's minor tweaks. I also come to think of our press play, because I think that got exposed yesterday, and I think that's a worry, because I think we looked tired after a while because we were running after the ball, we couldn't get hand of the ball, and I think that was a big problem. And I'm a little bit disappointed by Carrick that he didn't change it up and went into a mid block a little bit earlier, and instead of like wasting a lot of energy. And you can also see that in the last 20 minutes we didn't have the same fire in the tackles, and okay, we did after Sesko scored, but the last 20 minutes I think we dropped really deep and we lost our aggression, pushing out. So what's your take? You saw the game from their stance, and maybe you saw other things than we saw on the telly.
Depends which half you're talking about, because first half I saw Bruno, Luke Shaw, Kobe Mainu all absolutely ripping into Cunha because he would not stay wide on the left. where he's obviously been told to do. And what showed that was once he pulled Cunha off the pitch and put Mbeumo out there, and Mbeumo stood on the touchline. So the fact was, so one player not doing their job ruins your press. So it was down to that. He looked lost at times. He was looking around, checking.
Mbeumo?
No, Cunha. So everyone's telling him where to be, and he was coming inside into that 8-10 position, which is his position, instead of staying left. And I actually think he'll be dropped for the next game because of it, and put Mbeumo out there and start Sesko. Because when you actually look at it in their front three, that looked balanced. Wide players and the front man, Bruno, with space to go into. And I've said before, and I've seen it now firsthand, you can't really have Bruno and Cunha on the pitch in that position because they run into the same space, they drift, and they don't chase back. So what you were just saying about Dalot inverting in and going free at the back was because Luke Shaw was having to do two jobs. He was the only player offering width from the left. So Dalot couldn't get forward, and we were meant to play a back three. In other words, just old-fashioned. It's funny, you call it a back three, but really it's a shoestring defence. When the left back goes, the right back tucks in, it's free at the back, and if the right back goes, the left back tucks in. The distance between the back four, I think, was deliberate, because if we press properly, the only way out of our press is to play over the top, and then Harry Maguire clears up. It's to give him time to attack the ball and send it straight back towards your attacking players with a big header. But all in all, I saw a team that still looks a bit lost. If it's not a counter attack, it's lovely patterns of play to get out. You saw that all game long. Quick little passings and a diagonal backwards, unfortunately, to get out of their press on us. We just got to tweak that and make it a forward pass, but that will come in time. What else? But
yeah, you are talking about Mainoo now. When you talk about how we string ourselves out, and actually Mainoo becoming almost like a playmaker now. You could see his passing range is getting better, and switch of play and all of this. So yeah,
well, he's getting time on the pitch. So he's finally getting 90 minutes a game under his belt, so to speak, and he'll start getting into the swing of it. How many games is he behind every other player on that pitch? So link up play and everything like that. Training's one thing at half pace. Even when you say it's an intense training session, it's not a Premier League match, is it? Where it's do or die. So yeah, Mainoo was good. For me, it's his short passing. That's the thing we've missed in midfield more than anything, is an accurate short 5-yard passer of the ball. We've spoken about Bruno many a time, how he can be accurate on the long passes, but he actually gives it away a lot on the short passes, because he's playing it with the outside of the foot and he's just flicking it away rather than actually kicking through the ball. Where Mainoo he's actually getting on the half turn, turning, and it'll be a nutmeg, or he's turning with the ball, facing someone up. That's what releases Casemiro, as Stu was saying. Casemiro has been superb, I think, all season, but he's getting better game by game right now.
I think it's easier for him because you don't have to run as much when he plays with Mainoo, because Mainoo is tighter on the ball. He never loses possession, and he never loses the ball. So in a way, you played football yourself. You know how it is to play with guys like that. When they get the ball sticks, so you can do whatever you like.
And that was the problem we were saying about Bruno in the 8, is if he was going to play the Hollywood balls and it goes wrong, and he goes after the ball and Casemiro sits, now you've got a big 20-yard gap between you and your other midfielder. With Kobe, that's not happening. We're moving the ball up the pitch, side to side, left to right. What you said about Ahmad was sort of true. I did put in the chat while we were watching. He went down twice in the first half, one in our area and one in theirs. And he got up and he was like rubbing his groin/thigh area. And we were all adamant he wasn't going to make it to half time. And funny enough, Shea Lacey went and was sent straight out the second time he went down. He was sent straight out to warm up. So you know what it's like. Sometimes the magic sponge at half time and everything gets better. But for me, it's very frustrating when you see a player hobbling around, but when he's chance through on goal, full speed ahead. There he goes. So
Yeah.
There was a lot to see, but there was some real big problems in the formation where people weren't sticking to it. And again, that may have been dragged out of position. That may have been a lack of understanding because it's just been thrown together still.
Yeah. You make a lot of good points, and for me, I would love to be at the Old Trafford because the pictures on TV, you don't get to see the whole pitch, you don't get to see the whole dance, how the wave is moving, and for me, it's sometimes frustrating because I want to know where is the left back, is he out there? Where is he? Is he tucked in? And same with the wingers when I look at the press play because the camera follows, you don't see all the lines, so I didn't quite catch the Cunha not pressing and tucking a little bit into too much. The pictures on TV can only reveal so much. So Noradin, big up. You were at the game yesterday, and I heard you show with Mina and Saeed and the rest of the panel, and you were outnumbered when it came to the result of the game, and most of them think Man United deserved the win, but you stood firm that you believe that maybe Fulham deserved a point in that game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's really difficult to put your neutrals head on. Big up to everybody, by the way. Big up Mark, big up people. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, these people are grafting out here, putting on amazing analysis. The least you could do is like and subscribe. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when I watch a game like that, when I'm not sure about my opinion, I never doubt my eyes. You know what I mean? I was actually having a debate about modern football on that channel as well. It was really interesting on Saeed's channel before the Straight Jacket podcast. And I was talking about like how football's become robotic and how all the spontaneity has gone out of it. But when I was at the stadium yesterday, I think the first half, some parts of it, large parts of it, we controlled. And we were on the front foot for some parts of it. But I think Fulham had their moments. And then in the second half, I was biting my nails. That's always a good sign. Mm-hmm. How many nails I've started biting when they're on the ball. Now, 84 minutes is still 2-0. But for us to collapse the way we did, it's been coming. Fulham didn't just intensify the game that last, the last 10 minutes or whatever. They were building on it from the 65 minutes to 70 minutes. Yes, obviously, we'll never know if Sesko puts that in 3-0. Do they get discouraged?
Yeah.
Are they then? It's a 3-0 game, yeah, with a header. Mm. Is it a different game what we're talking about? Games, as we know. Yeah. But I went and listened to a couple of the analysis, some of the neutrals. And, some people could say, my auntie used to say, when it comes to Man United, nobody's a neutral. They hate us.
That's true.
Yeah. So I went and looked at some of the neutrals, what they were saying, and they were like, you know what, point. And also, to be fair to Michael Carrick, he was quite honest about the game. It was like we weren't at our best today. And that tells me everything. And then I look at the chances, and I remember the chances, and I think, damn, on another day, I think they created the clearer chances or the clearer opportunities inside the box. Don't get me wrong. I thought our finishes, if you look at the Cincy City game, other than obviously Donnarumma, that day should have been 6 or 7. Every blue nose around me knows they could have been 6 or 7 or 8. Mm. But the Arsenal game, we're just very efficient. The amount of shots we have to ratio and the ball goes in. But Fulham, we thought like we could go and create things. That Casemiro, it was a spate of in the game to make that like 2-0. I thought, we went for them. And then we created, and then, they defended better. And then the ball comes back out again from their box, and then Casemiro gets hold of it. Just a no-look pass. Cunha smashes it. But after that, we sat back, and then obviously you talked about it last night, but when I was in the stadium, it was noticeable. They were the first team that I've been to Old Trafford this season where they had the 2 centre-backs split, and then on the other side of them, they had the 2 full-backs so deep and low and split. And we're like in the crowd, as Stu would tell you, in a football game, we're like, what's going on here? What? This is a trap. And I'm like, this is a trap. This is a trap. This is a fucking trap. United don't go and press this. This is a trap. They don't do this. And nothing more
It's the pull
typified.
the strikers drop, and if the fullbacks have to go and be marked, then all of a sudden you're 4 players out of your press because they've all got to press at the same time.
Exactly. So, and as the goal typified, you see the goal. If anybody can watch the game again, watch the before the penalty decision comes, and the Sander Berge is on his own in a massive circle, and that's why he gets his head up and he passes that brilliant pass to Jimenez, because we all got lopsided. We got sucked into this side on the left-hand side, and they bopped it out to Sander Berge in the middle. And then there we go again. We're back to Amarin BS football. But for me, I thought Carrick, I thought at times he's getting to know the players. I thought tactically he was quite naive. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think the players lacked effort. Since he's been here, I can't say I've seen clearly the players are lacking effort. I think tactically he got it right spot on against Man City. I thought he got it on spot on against Arsenal. I thought yesterday we got wanted. And on another day, if Lamin's not making those, I try to remind people because some people have forgotten, but Lamin made 2 or 3 saves where he just pushed the ball out for a throw, for a corner, and a couple of leg sticks here and there. It was the other one where Maguire misjudges the ball in the air. Jimenez chests it. He doesn't get a proper connection. That's a goal in the end of the day. But he made the save. So for me, he made some good saves. He made some fantastic saves. And on another day, Fulham, I think if any neutrals watching that, they would have gone, you know what, a draw maybe. But we didn't sit back. We went and created, and it was a piece of world-class moment by Bruno Fernandes. And the finish to match was from Sesko. But for me, there was a lot of worrying issues. Yes, I understand the arguments that people are putting up. This is a Marco Silva team. He's had them on a training ground. They know so many different ways. They come up different game plans. Carrick's only been here for 2 weeks. I understand that. But I'm sorry, if you're doing a rehearse, you know what I mean? You're here wanting the job and people wanting to get the job. You have to react. For me, you can't keep it the same. And the players are doing the same BS thing where they're pressing and they kept bobbing us. So at the end of the day, for me, tactically, that worries me. That worries me.
Yeah.
It looks like they were waiting for someone to tell them to press rather than doing it naturally still. So they were that 1 step or half step behind, and it enabled it to be played round instead of just straight into the press, on a trigger, and everyone knows what the trigger is. It was more like Bruno checks his shoulders, press, and now they went on that, on the shout. Well, at the same time, the player with the ball can react to someone shouting press or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's still not natural in their system for pressing quite quick enough on a trigger. But again, you need those real life situations, and you need to just keep trying and know those triggers. You need less triggers and just get the press right. But they counter pressed it really well by, like Nordin said, by dropping the fullbacks deeper than the centre backs. That meant that Bruno and Burmo, well, they weren't going to go wide and leave the centre backs open. And Ahmad and Cunha weren't going to go and mark the fullbacks and leave the whole midfield exposed, leaving just Mainu and Casemiro to pick up 3. So it was clever. But the subs changed the game for me. The subs made the big difference. The subs they brought on the left, because they obviously changed both of them, with Sessegnon and the amazingly named Brazilian Kevin. We just got lucky. Like you say, the Sesko, you would have had him from the start. Well, actually, at the end of the game, and it stretched, you wanted the fresh legs of pace. And I was screaming for Lacey to get on for Ahmad because I thought we needed that pace down the wing. Which is quite funny because actually Bruno gets out there, lets it roll across him and gets the ball in. So you can see where the space was going to come in the wide positions, and I just felt we didn't have the legs still. But, happy to be proven wrong, and the ball comes in and we score from it.
The best element for what Silva did and what changed the game actually was Tom Kearney. He changed the whole aspect of the way that Fulham played.
They kept the ball.
Sander Berge dominated the midfield. We all know that. Everybody who knows football, who watches the game, knows that Sander Berge was streets ahead of anyone else on that pitch in the middle of the park. And it wasn't with his ball play all the time. It was where he decided to be present at any given time. So when we talk about pressing, I mean, pressing for me is a
They
multitude.
overloaded the midfield as well, Stu. He went straight to the
Exactly.
middle.
Yeah, and pressing to me is a bit. It's a mixture of things anyway. I like to zonal press, always have done. I don't like in your face pressing. It's dead easy. It's to pop the ball off and go and receive it. It's dead easy. So I like the zonal press. Just press within the area where your man should be.
Yeah.
And Sander Berge was very good at that. He was very good at just doing the Jesus Christ superstar cross. That was his momentum. If you actually looked at his trajectory of his movement, it was that and that. It was a basic cross. And when they brought on, by the way, it coincided with us bringing off Casemiro. Since we took off Casemiro, Silva was very, very quick to bring on Tom Kearney. And when Tom Kearney came on, he kept the ball. He used the ball. Tom Kearney is one of those players that has probably flattered to deceive because he's always been at Fulham for the majority of his career. I think if we moved on to a bigger side, a better side, you'd be talking about Tom Kearney as one of the best ball playing midfielders because his left foot, his accuracy of his pass, his use of the ball, again his position. Sander Berge drags Iwobi around him. Me and Jarvis were talking about it last night. Jarvis will tell you that Sander Berge was taking Iwobi with him like a little puppy dog. It worked for them at that point. As soon as Tom Kearney came on, you need to be that close to Berge because he's got the ability and the wherewithal to move the ball. And it's no coincidence, as Mark said, when they come on alongside Kevin, who wanted to really stretch the play, that they became dangerous in their attacking formation. And you saw a difference straight away with Jimenez and the way that Jimenez got back into the game. Because I think Jimenez was okay in the first 60 minutes, but he was kind of pushed out of the game, wasn't he, by Maguire and by Martinez. Second half, you saw a completely different Jimenez. He got involved as soon as Kearney came on because it allowed Sander Berge that a little bit more freedom. He pushed on a good 10 yards then at that point. And that's where the ball came from, as you quite rightly say. That's where the ball came in for him. And we were talking about it last night, and I've re-seen it again, the penalty. And you've seen, is it Newcastle the other week and City, where something similar had happened and penalty wasn't given. And I think that obviously this was given. But I said to Jarvis, the way that Maguire was going, he was always going to clatter into Jimenez. It was always going to happen, irrespective of what Jimenez was going to do. And this is where we're just not cute enough at the minute. We're not cute enough. Maguire's not cute enough yet, which is amazing because he's a brilliant centre-half, is to leave that to Lamans because Lamans probably would have saved it from Jimenez because he's off his line very, very quickly. Because if you remember the actual point of contact between Maguire and Jimenez, Lamans was a second, like a millisecond behind him. That's why Jimenez landed so far behind Lamans. So if he'd left it, there wouldn't have been a penalty because Lamans would have swallowed it up. And this is the type of thing that we're still not ready. We don't read the game well enough yet. But what you said,
if the keeper called for it, because from what I saw, he didn't call for it either. So you're not going to leave it. Are you going to leave it if the keeper don't call for it?
I would have. I'd have left it. Yeah,
you would have left it even though the keeper hasn't said he's going to get it.
Yeah, because I know straight away the pace that I'm going, I'm not stopping. So I'm like to give a spot kick. I'm just not stopping there. And Nuruddin made a really good point. 2-3 minutes earlier, the ball comes over, brilliant ball in. Maguire wrong side, so he's running backwards. Then he's looking over his shoulder. Jimenez takes it down beautifully on his chest. Maguire
spins and puts his foot in.
Yeah, but it's too late. Yeah, it's too late. He should have been. He didn't know where Jimenez was. There's a couple of bits and pieces, and that was done by the space that Kearney was producing in the middle of the park.
Yeah. And they were also overloading the left. I don't know if their left, because that's where they brought it's Bassi on, Sessegnon on, and Kevin on down one side.
And Iwobi went there as well. And Iwobi went to the left-hand side as well as soon as...
Yeah. Because Dano tires and his brain goes. And that's where he's a worry, like seeing out a game for me. Dalot, if he concentrates for 90 minutes, it'll be an absolute miracle. And I'm putting money on the lottery that day because everyone's in with a chance of winning. But it seemed they did that, and like you said, everyone then got dragged over, and Kearney didn't, and it created that space to play the balls diagonally through.
Perfect for Kearney.
Yeah,
perfect for him. And the way that Berg played then from there onwards became even more effective in the game. But you know, ultimately, for the first time in a long time, we didn't sit around, we didn't cry about it, we just got on with it.
But Stu, is it a bit of worry though that Carrick and his coaching staff didn't see that, especially the traps that tired Manchester United forwards out?
Well, that's what alarmed myself and Jarvis last night more than anything when we were analysing the game, and we came off the stream actually, the pair of us, and I said, I don't think a lot of people kind of agreed with us, but you know, Jarvis made the point that we're only talking about what we saw and how we saw the game, and we did see the game that way. We did see the game that there are areas at this point in time where you've got to be making changes. I would have played Tesco right from the start anyway. I wouldn't have had Ahmed in the team yesterday. For me, he did okay, and I put him as part of my man of the match because he surprised me. But I'd have played Tesco, Cunha, and Mbeumo. The thing about Cunha not playing out wide, it's not his game. He's never. You look at all his games; he's never played out wide. He doesn't need to do that. When you've got as your focal point, you can tuck in Mbeumo and Cunha. You don't need the width then. And as Jarvis made a brilliant point, that the overlap was created by Shaw and a little bit by Dalot, wasn't it, Jarvis? Not so much, but a little bit by Dalot. But I then made the point because Jarvis said, well, look at the fucking hole. We were looking at Harry Wilson wasn't playing well yesterday. Let's be honest. He's been having a great season until he comes
he's threatened now by Bob, isn't he? So
yeah, you know, and so there were problems. So yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think when they would have got their training this morning, there would have been a lot of Grace. Jano was perfect. He was down. I think there'd have been a lot of conversation about how easy Sander Berge dispensed with Bruno for a start. I mean, fucking hell, he put Bruno.
Well, I don't know if you saw it on TV, Norton. You might have seen it. Bruno wouldn't leave him alone. He was going back towards him. Like he's basically winding Bruno and saying, "You're going nowhere." And he was just barging him off the ball. And the next thing, Bruno's turning around and giving him mouth. And the next thing, Bruno gets the ball, Berge comes straight through and takes the ball off him.
Yeah, they showed that on TV. They showed a lot of dissent, so to speak, on TV. But look, ultimately,
now that was noticeable. There was one moment he kind of like barged him so hard, it hit the deck really hard. And we were like, oh shit. You know what? It's the first time I actually went to the game. Obviously, what Jarvis is saying, I actually thought that maybe he's injury prone. You know what I mean? His injuries, and I didn't read too much into it, but he's been fit and playing well for them. But I actually just focused on him. Game kicked off. I was just watching him because I know what Bruno Casemiro can do. But what a unit he is.
He is, yeah.
What a man of a mountain he is. And like literally, I was sat halfway line on a north stand, Stu, and I'm literally looking at him, and sometimes he's coming, and I'm like, boy, this guy is tall as me, but he's. Man.
I was saying last night, Nuruddin.
And then he's got felled feet. He's got a fell foot, right foot.
I know.
Yeah.
And he glides, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He glides across the pitch. I said to Jarvis last night, we should do everything we fucking can. Forget Wharton. Just try and get. You know, Jarvis made a great point.
Well, that just shows you the gross misconduct of this owners in it and this football chapter. Yeah. And this is where even people are saying we're back. How can we be back when Fulham can have a player like him and Manchester United do not have a player anywhere near him?
People were watching our show last night, Nuruddin, because today all the main channels were saying, "Oh, you've got to be careful who you replace Casemiro with now." And I was just grinning, laughing my head off, because that's exactly what Jarvis said right at the top of the show. I was raving about Sander Berge when I last night, raving. We
both did.
Yeah. But Jarvis said, "We must, whatever we do, we must."
Saeed came out of the stadium. To be better, Saeed was like, "Oh my God, Sander Berge bullied us." I'm like, "Yeah."
Killed us. He destroyed us.
But can I just point out, when someone is a man mountain like that, when someone is dominating you like that, you go and find a pocket of fucking space and you stay away from him. and our midfielder was that stupid. He thought he'd keep battling for him and stay there. So he
to be fair, Kobe Mainoo stayed away from him. To be fair, if you watch Kobe Mainoo's like, okay, mate,
want to do with him.
Did you
I'm
see
not coming
Kobe
anywhere near
absolute body Iwobi get off the ball, bodied him, and he's half the size of him. But
he was
Bruno,
like, I'll pick up some people that I can actually challenge. I'm not going near you. I don't think when he threw Bruno to the floor, I don't think any of the, I think Casemiro went in with him a little bit, but he.
I mean, the thing is, when he chucked him on the floor, he didn't do it with any malice. Did you see his face? Like
he was just twice as strong as him.
He looked, and I was saying to you, didn't I, Jarvis? Absolutely.
He looked like Drago. I swear to God.
It looked like a Rocky scene.
You can get him for 50 million quid, probably.
I don't know when it comes to Sander Berge. He's 27, but he recently signed for Fulham. We could have gotten him for, was it
4 million quid?
I think they wanted 22 millions, and we only was willing to offer 20 or something.
We could have got
Fulham came in with 25.
We could have got him at 4 million before that.
Yeah, from Burnley.
From Burnley or
whatever.
When he was relegated.
4 million. Yeah. As soon as we put the bid in, it would have shot up to 100 million.
Yeah, ridiculous. But we should be going for him, because him and Kobe Mainoo in particular will give you that dynamic that Tom Kearney does with him. When he came on.
I agree, Stu, but I said in the chat earlier today, I think we should sign 3 players, and that's Mamadou Sangare, the RC Lens player.
I saw that.
Fantastic player, top of the league, France, doing bits, and also you have James Garner. I think we should go for a player like James Garner because he's composed, and Sander Berge, obviously. So I think if you put them 3 plus Kobe Mainoo, I think we have a fantastic midfield. We have.
From Garner's just signed a brand new contract 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but we could have done something about it. But we are not. We are just focused on 3 players, and that's Baleba.
He no longer has a buyback clause because of that new contract. He no longer has a buyback clause.
Yeah,
which we did have on Garner.
Figures. But we are only focused on Wharton, Baleba, and Anderson, and that's at least what.
Who's that, by the way?
Who?
Buyback clause.
Garner at Everton.
James Garner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, the videos out there, Matt. The videos out there. Everybody was telling me, "Why are you concerned about him? Why are you concerned about him? He's not even that great." I'm like, I watched him for effing Nottingham Forest. I saw him dominate Arsenal when they played him in the FA Cup. I watched him when they had that great FA Cup run, dominate and bop teams off the park. And I've been watching him in the youth team from years. And I'm like, he passes the ball forward.
Yeah.
He can still, I think, his potential, his ceiling is that high. I think he's got a few years to go. He's not even anywhere near his prime yet. So this idea for me, though, honestly, the video's on my channel. It's on my channel. And I was fuming at Ten Hag and Murta and those Muppets. I was fuming at them.
Yeah. But I don't know what you guys think, but it was a disappointing transfer window, and we expected it. We didn't sign anyone, and we just one injury away for the Champions League and everything, the league to collapse, and we only have the league to play for. Someone said Casemiro is on 6 yellow cards, so I think when it comes to 8, he will get
10. Is 10? It resets after Christmas, so he's already had his ban. 5, so resets. He's got to get 5 yellow cards to get a ban.
But next time he will get a two game ban, not just 1.
Yeah, but it's what chance of getting 5 or 4 more yellow cards.
Casemiro will get 4 yellow cards in the last 14 games. That's 100% sure. So we will be out with Casemiro. He's our only number 6 as it stands. We have seen Ugarte coming in the number 6 position, and he doesn't know what to do. He's not a number 6. He's a intensity player, a high press player. He can play in the number 8, but never in the number 6. He's not good enough. And I don't know if Kobe Mainoo can do it. I think Kobe Mainoo is more of a number 8. So what are we going to do? Play Martinez? Are we back to scraping the barrel? Nothing against Martinez, but he's a centre back.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought process. I tend to agree with you. I think 14 games, chances of Casemiro not getting an extra 4 cards is limited. I agree, and he will get an automatic 2-match ban. So I think we are going to lose him for 2 games. So what do you do? How do you do it? The best way to do it is to play with no 6, which is weird. I know it's strange what I'm about to say, but you go back to the traditional 4-4-2 and you play with no 6. You play with 2 central midfielders, 2 wingers, 4 at the back and 2 up top. And that 2 up top becomes 5 in the middle. We all know how it works. I'm not going to bore everybody with the complexities of how you do it, but that's how you do it. When you do it an attacking way, you kind of invert your 2 wingers so that if there is a transition, let them transition it wide rather than through the middle. So you're protecting your 2 6s, your 2 8s, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't really matter. That's the only way you can do it. If you go with Martinez, and I know what you're saying, Jarvis, I think you could do a job there for a game, perhaps 2, depending on who you're playing against.
Yeah,
and it may well cover the issues. But if we haven't got maybe De Ligt back,
you won't.
Because right now there's no idea. Nobody knows when De Ligt is going to be back.
Have you not heard the leak about De Ligt?
No, what's the leak?
He's not playing again this season, supposedly.
No, he might not play again. As in, that's what they may have found something that's been causing all of his injuries, back related, and it's nerve related.
Yeah, so, I don't know. We'll have to wait.
Originally, it was a spot pressing on a nerve. That's what that was the one that came out originally about a few weeks after when he should have been back. But he had a spot on his back, but like the sack was pushing on the nerve. But
we'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But you've got Heaven and Yoro, Jarvis. But I think Yoro needs a time out the first team, which he's having at the moment. I think it'll do him the world of good. Heaven doing him the world of good. He can recover. That type of thing. We got Jon Fredrickson as well. So you bring Heaven in, and maybe you could gamble with Martinez. But I would go with the 4-4-2 in that situation. What Nuruddin, when he was talking about modernism in football, you listened to me now for 2-3 years, Nuruddin. You know my thoughts on it. So I totally agree with you about modernism, how robotic and boring it is. And if you've got to change it to stifle the opposition, a 4-4-2 is the best way of doing it, because it just can't they won't know. Guardiola in particular wouldn't know how to work it through. He wouldn't have a fucking Scooby. What's a 4-4-2? Wouldn't have a clue. So that's what I would do. But it's not the solution, Jarvis, by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
That is.
But but I think the issue now is I see someone mentioning in the chat, mentioning Wilcox would leave Malacia to leave, but Malacia wasn't allowed to leave, and but he let Kone Sekou Kone leave, and he let Toby Collier leave, and we know
we have a video about that as well. I said if you're not getting somebody else, he's 13 appearances. He's shown more than enough, Toby Collier, that actually, if we need to close the game down, he's the guy to come on, because he did it against Arsenal. He did it at Emirates we're down to 10 men in an FA Cup game. Took us to penalties, and he was superb, absolutely superb.
I remember that game.
The ball. Yeah. And at the end of the day, to me, I just think we're run by clowns. We're owned by clowns, and we're run by clowns. I don't know what else to say to you guys.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, maybe Collier was asking for the line because he's not going to get minutes.
Yes, so but you know what he's saying to him? You know what, son? You know, at the end of the season, you pick a club and it won't stand in your way. That's what he's saying to the kid. We need you here now. You're a Manchester United. We bought you for a reason. You are here for Manchester United.
He went to Hull, didn't he?
What's the big difference? What is the big difference, Matt? 4 months later. What are we doing here? Is he trying to make it to the England World Cup? Give it a He just wanted football. You say to him, in 4 months' time, you and your agent can find a football club and we'll send you there.
Yeah, I thought it was quite comical.
And you think he wouldn't then just fake an injury because you've denied him a chance to move away from the club?
No, I wouldn't, because it's the way you talk to him. You say, listen, you can be a very important part. We were finished 15th last season. here we've got a chance to fight for the top 5. You can be a fantastic fighter. If we get that injury, it's going to happen. If I need to rest Kobe, you can come in the game. You and Ugarte some games can close out the game. You and Ugarte.
I agree.
Like, you've got to persuade and say, listen, you're playing for Manchester United. More people are going to see you. How many people fucking watching him alone at home?
Oh, nobody. And the interesting thing,
watching the Manchester United game.
No, Nuruddin, you're talking about professional football at the highest level. That's what you're talking about. This is where we need you. This is why we need you. This is what's going to happen. The end, period. This is how it should be. It should have been like this 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, today, tomorrow, next year, the year after that. It should be a continuation.
Manchester United need you to help them to get over the line in the Champions League. You're going to have more eyes on you than any of the loan in the
You will play. I just hang tight, hold your nerve, you'll play. And it just doesn't happen.
And you know what?
Liverpool have done it today.
You've got a couple of games, play right back as well, makeshift right back. Put in a shift in as well. You need players like that in your squad.
He played left back under Ten Hag a couple of times, I believe.
Shift in. What are we doing here?
You're preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir, dude, because I
don't disagree, but it's funny how this is. I see it in a similar way. He could do what Kobe Mainoo did.
What do you mean, playing in the 8?
No, Kobe Mainoo miraculously was no longer injured once the manager was sacked.
I genuinely 100% do not think that Collier, the argument, there is nothing he can come back to say. How many people are watching you at Hull? You're going to play next season the club of your choice. You and your agent find it, you'll get the best blessings and we'll get a decent money for you. But
you get Premier League.
You're going to be coming on in crucial moments in a Manchester United game, pushing for the top 5 in the Premier League.
Nordin, I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is, Ugarte, I would play Collier over Ugarte, right? But it hasn't happened. Ugarte can barely kick a ball sometimes when he comes on the pitch, gives it away, and I'd rather have Collier on the pitch. So if he's seeing Ugarte staying in front of him, he's come back. They've obviously spoke to him about a loan. Am I going to play? Well, Ugarte's in front of you, Kobe's in front. He gets given his options. I'll take the loan because I want to play football. I'd rather have a player at the club who wants to play first-team football, who's a young player, than sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. Because we're not going to let him play for the 21s.
I think it's weak. I think that's a weak mentality. This is my issue with modern football, modern players. To me, it's a weak mentality. Jarvis, what did I say about Tuanzebe 4 years ago? Fucking make yourself a right back. You ain't getting it at centre half. Make yourself a right. It's on video. Everyone can go back and look at it.
You said the same about Lenny Yoro.
Lenny Yoro. Turn yourself into a right back. You ain't getting it at centre half. Turn yourself into a right back.
West Brown.
We're all footballers. All of us. Every single one of us. We've all played at a really good standard of football. Good level. Okay. How many times have you looked at a player and thought, I ain't getting in that position. It ain't fucking happening. He's better than me there. So how am I going to make myself valuable to the team? I don't like the loan system. I've never liked the loan system. The best way to develop a player is reserves. It's not going to come back. It just isn't. And that's the best way to develop a player. 100%. 100%. Or you have a proper Premier League 2. Okay? You have a proper, Premier League 2 league. Where it's open age. No, it's open age. So you can play under 18 to 32, 33, 34. You have a proper league, properly reffed, properly funded, proper. The reserve league was never properly funded, by the way, if you remember. It was just a league. I'm talking about.
Well, that's why they scrapped it, because now they can make money from this year.
Exactly. When you look in Spain have got it. Spain have a proper second tier league, Premier League.
It was, you know what? I remember me going to Gig Lane, Stu, Mark, and Jarvis. I would go to Gig Lane to know that when Roy Keane was coming back from an injury.
He might only play 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But
I would play with Phil Mars.
Yeah,
I would go to Gig Lane. I would go to Gig Lane to watch these players. Dennis Irwin coming back from an injury. Gary Neville. You know what I mean? Like, these type of players coming back from an injury. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming back from an injury.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Go and see these players in a small, tight. You know,
and then all the younger players are learning from being around these in a match environment. So this is what I'm saying.
And it was
talking about
competitive. That. It's like watching a real game, like a real Saturday. You know what I mean? Game. This reserves was ferocious. The kickoffs, the fights, the kickoffs, crazy intense.
If you got in the reserves as a junior, you were in the first team squad around the first team all the time. Another league alongside it, like the Spanish league, would be perfect. Completely perfect. Agate, you ain't in the first team squad. I'm putting you out for the second tier in Premier League 2. I'm putting you out there. You know, we should be doing something. We've got enough money in the game to keep these players fresh.
And you know what? It would be a brilliant way of embedding players coming from abroad.
Oh, all the time.
You telling me 3 months of 3 months of reserve football is not going to get them robust and get up to speed? What are we doing here?
Exactly. Diego Leon would be 4 months better prepared
100%
to come in and play.
Playing against guys who are trying to win their place back.
Yes.
In the first team.
Yeah.
What are we doing? To me, it was one of the weird, and I'm not going to lie to you. That's what I thought. The Americanization of sport. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I don't want to blame people, but obviously, it's a lot of capital stuff. Capitalism is a big thing, but the Americanization of the European game.
Yeah,
that's when it became, and we are, whether we like it or not, we are the 51st state. So I knew when all this youth, because where did they develop play? They don't even have to pay them youth players in the United States. They have these college football leagues.
That's right.
It's unbelievable. And they don't have to pay them.
Yeah, but that's not entirely true because they get sponsorship. I've got players going.
Yes, but they get sponsorship. But still, what about only the top stars get sponsored? What about the rest of the 20 or 30 in the squad? What about the rest of them?
You'll get the sponsorship. It's
They're
incentive,
not getting the sponsorship. They're not getting the individual sponsorship. They're only the stars who are going to go pro, and everybody knows the stars in any of those. And was it only a couple of years ago when they really thought and go, now we want to get paid because you're making hundreds and hundreds of millions off our backs. And for me, that's when it was the end. And it's only going to get worse. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. There's 13 US-based companies or individuals who own 13 Premier League teams now, as we speak. Yeah. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning as well that Collier is probably earning, I don't know, 10 grand a week. I think between 5 and 10 for what? Get them playing and stay.
He's gone on loan to the team that's third in the championship.
Yeah, no, but the problem is, and this is where
James Garner's all right to go on loan to Nottingham Forest, and we're raving about him. I don't really understand the counter argument. You're raving about James Garner.
It's about a need. Do you think? Okay, Matt.
We needed Garner.
No. Listen. Garner was a couple of years ago. Ten Hag and that Merton Muppet made a decision. I'm telling you now, we are an injury away to Casemiro or Kobe or to both. Away from fucking playing in a conference fucking league.
It's also worth noting that Garner doesn't play for you.
And we needed him now. I'm not asking Collier to be here for the rest of his career. I'm saying for the next 3 to 4 months, mate. Club of your choosing, you and your agent sort it out. We'll give you the best blessings. You can go and play amount of football you want. We're talking about now. Now at this moment in time, you're going to come on in games where we'll need to shut games down. You're going to be part of this run for the champions. You saw Liverpool. That's the best I've seen them play this season. You saw Chelsea coming back from 2-0 down. Everybody suffered. Do you know why? Every club. This is critical. Critical because you get 100 million just being in that daft Champions League. That's what I'm saying to you. And we're nowhere anywhere near it. With this, to me, the jeopardy and the gross misconduct, what they've done. Matt, on a philosophical argument about young players, Stu and me arguing for bring back reserves. You can say no opinion. I don't actually agree with that. on your point about sending young players to go and develop on loan, 100 million%. We saw the likes of Ahmad. But we didn't need Ahmad right there and then. We didn't need Garner right there and then. We need Collier right now because these Muppets who run the football club have no clue. They are Scooby-Doo, no clue. They sent Kone to Switzerland. What the F is he going to learn in Lansing Swiss League? Who knows? Tell me one player that you've ever known about the Swiss League. Mohamed Salah, when they beat us, what's that team in the Champions League that time? I remember I was in Cuba and I was trying to find a bar to watch it. I was in Havana, right? In Havana, and I was trying to find a bar. And you know what? I got there a bit late and I was like, where's Vidic? Vidic just got off. Looked like a really bad knee injury. I'm like, you what? And I saw little Mohamed Salah scoring goals against us in that. Basel. But I don't know anybody else who plays in the Swiss League. I do not know anybody else. I couldn't name you 2 players if I tried. And I don't see that many. I think we played one of them, didn't we? We played a Swiss team a couple of years back in the Europa League.
Basel, when Svan Bissaka got a red card, I don't know you remember. We played on AstroTurf in Basel.
That's the last I remember. What is Saka Kone?
I think it was Dallow's first game.
Yeah. What is Kone doing at Ineos team in Switzerland? What is he going to learn there? The championship, you know what you learn? Stu, I'm not saying you should have kept Kone here because Kone is not physically ready to step into Manchester United even for 5 minutes. Like Jack Fletcher is not physically ready. Yeah, I'm saying, I understand that, but he's not. Like Jack Fletcher, we knew Jack Fletcher. He's not physically, he's not physically ready. They're not physically ready yet. So, but Collier is. That's what I'm saying. That we're not against, I am not on principle against your argument of sending young players on loan to the championship. I am not. And especially the top of the table championship, because that's where the intensity of the games comes on. For me, after reserves, no reserves, that's the best breeding ground, because then you are not going to be babied. You're not going to be special treatment BS. You are, as a professional footballer, you're going to have to be ready to play every 3 days. Every 3 days, you've got to be fit, firing to go, intensity in a championship. Some of my friends call me crazy. I watch a championship sometime. Do you know why? I enjoy spontaneous football. No VAR. I watch it for that nostalgia on no VAR.
Look at Coventry. Completely throwing it away. Having a real tough time. Middlesbrough come back from nowhere, haven't they? 11 points. So.
Yeah, they're doing
they play
really
every 3
well.
days, too. You know, every 3 days.
They do.
You,
they're back up
you lose 2 and draw 1. You're mid-table.
Yeah,
you win 2 or win 3. You put 3 wins together. That's 9 points. You're climbing that table.
Yeah, we don't play again till we play Sunday, and then when's the winter break this year? Or aren't they having one because of the World Cup?
Not having one. That's what we're getting one, but no one else is.
We're getting a winter break, obviously. Yeah.
Again, a self-imposed. So
we're having a self-imposed winter break, aren't we? Yeah. We are.
If we can just go back to
Saudi Arabia, we're off to Saudi Arabia and Dubai or whatever places.
That's
If we can just go back to the argument, I get what everyone's saying about Collier, but Collier went out on loan at the start of the season after the transfer, at the end of the transfer window, and we haven't changed our midfield one bit. Hang on, let me finish. We haven't changed the midfield one bit. We still have the same available midfielders we had at the end of the first transfer window and now the end of this transfer window. No one was calling for Collier not to go on loan. No one was saying he had to stay.
Yeah, but the landscape's different though, isn't it?
We were playing more midfield. We needed more midfielders in a 5-man midfield.
Yeah, but the landscape's still different, isn't it? Where we sit today, right now, we weren't sitting last year or the year before. It's the first time we've got a real chance of getting. Right now, we could get top 3.
So it's okay not to have him and finish 15th, or not to have him at the start of the season and push forward.
No. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now, right now, not the past, not the present. Not the future, the present.
But what I'm saying is, he wasn't in. He's not been in around, and it could have happened. And while we were pushing forward, Casemiro could have broken his fucking leg, and Maynard wasn't in the team.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because we weren't fourth then. We're now fourth, staring down a barrel of third. So we need the players around. Jarvis made the point last night. It was a really good point right at the beginning of the show. If we lose Casemiro, or we must replace him with somebody, Brett. And if we lose him, where do we go? Agate isn't strong enough, and he's right. I don't think we're not arguing that Collier comes directly in. We're suggesting that Collier comes around just in case Casemiro gets injured, suspended, Agate gets suspended, Mason Mount breaks down. Where do we go?
But
surely Collier, you know what? Mason Mount is broken down, Stu.
I know he has. I know he did. Yeah, I know he did. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got a clue what. I don't know what he's done this time.
I'm just saying, there's no difference in playing Collier in the Man United thing when he's played 5-6 games, or playing Freight or a Fletcher or someone like that. It's still going to be an inexperienced midfielder by a couple of games just because he's played. Remember, he wasn't even starting on his first line at West Brom.
It's bodies.
He got injured.
It's bodies, isn't it? It's about bodies and who you trust. I quite like Collier anyway. I always have done. I think he's a really good player. He's a good shout.
Me
the
too.
only thing I would say
as well.
The difference in physicality and being Premier League men's football ready between Jack Fletcher and Collier is like two different universes. It is completely two different universes.
It's a bit different, yeah.
He's older. He's nearly 21 now, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, it's soon, maybe his birthday's coming up. He's gonna be 21. He's a lot older. He was on loan at West Brom. He got injured. The club called him back, and he was like, I'd rather go back there to get seen by the medical department. And he's been recuperating at Old Trafford. And the reason why Kobe wasn't getting a sniff. The other coach, you left this convenient elephant in the room out. We had a madman called Amorim who didn't have a Scooby absolute do. He didn't have a clue. He tried to lie to us, and some of us thought, because we're all conditioned that half of the fan base are conditioned to back any bullshit. We'll back because we'll think he'll get it right, because we're sick of sacking coaches. And the other half are like, get rid of this guy, get me a brand new toy. But the truth lies somewhere in the middle. He said, Casemiro and Bruno are my 2 sixes. I mean, come on. So Kobe wasn't getting in. And yes, I'm not like, obviously, there's a lot of people falling over themselves, going, Kobe's still got a lot to learn.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's got to improve a lot more. But was Amorim ever convincing me that Kobe wasn't good enough in the shittest Manchester United team? Kobe couldn't come on for a half or play the odd game here and there. In the worst self-professed, this is what Amorim said. This is the shittest team of Manchester United. What are we doing here? To me, the thing about Collier is not fundamentally, we're not disagreeing. It is essential right now. Who would you have, Mark, in a game at Anfield against Liverpool? Casemiro's going down. Kobe is fatigued. Last 15 minutes, 20 minutes to shut the game down. United are winning 2-1. The Scousers have bought all the strikers on. Everybody's on. Who are you got? Collier is your best bet. Not Jack Fletcher. Collier, because he's proven that he can do it. He went and did it in an FA Cup game at the Emirates where we're down to 10 men. And he was phenomenal.
I think you made your point, Nordin, and I think most of us agree, but I think it's I agree with Mark also when it comes to just sending young players. They need development, and you're not developing anything just sitting on the bench. But now it's different times. We have a really thin squad. I think they're banking on people just staying fit because we only have 1 game a week. We only have 14 games left, and we are just in the beginning of February. So that's unusual for Man United. We most likely on a regular season have almost 20 to 25 games in a season like this if we were in Europe and both leagues, both cups. So again, my next question is I saw someone mentioning it in the chat, is where do we go next season? Because now the January transfer window has ended. We are going into the summer. If we get Europe next season, we know that Casemiro is leaving. Most likely Maguire, his contract is up. other players need to go. What about Ugarte and other players? So how many players do we actually need to sign next summer? And
9
is it
players has not
doable?
changed.
Is it
8
doable?
to 9 players, Travis. 8 to 9
And now
players.
I'm
Not
talking
changed.
about both exits and incomes or players in.
No, I'm talking about just incomings. I will let
Yeah.
Luke Shaw go because he can't go up and down that left-hand side now that we're back to 4. He can't go up that line unless he wants to just sit on the bench and be a third choice centre back behind Martinez, because he can't play the ball like Martinez. Maguire, see you later. He proved that the other game just there, right? He's done well to come back in. He was, almost captain-like in the last 2 games against City and against Arsenal. But when the game opens up a little bit, the gap between him and Martinez, they don't push out. They don't push, squeeze the game when we press. And then he gets exposed, and we know the rest. So we always said he's going to struggle unless you have people around him, and you're doing mid to low block. So Maguire, we're gone. Casemiro, see you later. Yeah, I would make wholesale changes, incredibly wholesale changes. But then, Jarvis, that would be asking for too much, because that's what football clubs do. But a Branchester, that's what we are, brand, owned by these clowns, run by even worse clowns, they're not going to do anything. We're only going to get 2 midfielders, and that's it. Everybody and their nan knows we need 25-year-old, 23, 25-year-old guy who's played at least 300 games or 250 games centre half. That's what we need at the back. We need experience. Yes, Heaven can develop. Backs choose played, Marks played. Centre halves are hard, man. I never played. Majority of teams I ever played Saturday, and I play at the lowest level of English football. The lowest level. Saturday, Sunday, pub league sometimes. And you know what? I only played centre back once. And that's when I was maybe 21. And I was like, this is hard. This is hard. Next, talk to me. Talk to me. Because it's like, I've got no eyes at the back of my head. As soon as the ball is on the right-hand side, I play on the left-hand side. It's like, talk to me. Communicate with me. I played in midfield where I had to just look sideways, totally different positioning. To me, to see young centre-halves, especially in the British game, you must be a talent. You must be special. So Manchester United need to go and get 2 centre-halves. So that's just 2. We need a left-back. I personally believe we're going to let Ugarte go. We need 3 midfielders. We need a left winger. Like, what are we doing here? So for me, and then we need a second striker. Are we going to keep Sergsky around? You know what I mean? So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to go and get a proper backup goalkeeper. You're going into the Champions League next season and we qualify, and you want to compete in all fronts, you're going to need a proper football club will bring in 8 to 9 players. But we're not that. We know what we're going to get.
Well, we are talking about a big window, according to all the journals and pundits. They are talking about a big window, and I want to give this to Mark. So Mark,
Jarvis, can I just say something, please, quickly? I've heard that PR before. I bought the T-shirt. I've ate the popcorn. I've ate so much popcorn that you can make a house out of it. That amount of PR coming from the Ineos and Glazers.
We know. So my question to you, Mark, is how would you go into the summer transfer window? We know it's a short window. We know it's a World Cup. We have limited funds. A couple of big earners are going out. Rashford is probably leaving for good. Maguire, big earner, leaving. Casemiro, big earner. So there will be at least a wage budget to bring in, I would say, big players. And
that's another.
And we can attract players with money, but how would you go into this window, and what would your plan be, and how many players would you actually sign?
Well, the difference between my plan and Man United's plan is probably night and day. But the only way Man United can get the players they want is to go for all the cheap buyout clauses and things like that, and they're not necessarily the players you want. Because Nordin's right, we need a second 11, because we know we can't play 2 games a week with the current squad we have. They're not capable of doing it. I think goalkeeper we might be all right. We got VTech as I would bring him back, or at least say, do you want to be the number 2 rather than? But when you're playing first team football, you want to stay playing first team football, don't you? And earning your bonuses and things like that.
Mm.
Centre backs, yeah, it's going to be a real issue. I think De Ligt, Maguire, we're screwed. So I generally don't see what we can do in the summer transfer window unless this change in the rules happens. We're still unsure if that's going to go ahead with basically your PSRs based on what you make, not profit, but you made 600 million last year, you can spend 600 million. If they do that, I'm really worried for the club.
80%, I think that's the rule.
Yeah. But
what you make, yeah.
When we're making, like, it's getting more and more each year. What was it? Almost 700 million in the last financial released, and we still made a loss. If we can spend 700 million, you're saying 80%, we'll just call it 600. But that's creating more debt. So that will just come back and bite us in the arse financially. So if you've got the money to go out, well, 100 million on one midfielder. Everyone wants we've got no left-sided
Elliot
players.
Anderson.
We've got no strikers, out-and-out goal scorers, the way that most people will want. 9s are coming back at the moment. A lot of teams are moving to 2 up top, if you've noticed. And 110. Tottenham even did it yesterday to get back into the Liverpool game. 2 up top, and Xavi Simons had his best game playing as a 10 behind the front 2. But yeah, 100 million comes in from the Champions League. If we qualify, you can spend that on tick because you're guaranteed 100 million. If you qualify top 8, you can get up and keep going. You can go up to 200 million in that window. I don't know what we do, because for me, I would go by Frimpong was 35 million last year. He would have been a great signing for Man United, right? 35 million. Before he went to Liverpool, those kind of players where they've got these buyout clauses, that's what you've got to look at. But we won't do that. We'll go by youngsters for the future. We'll have this amazing under 16s, 18s, and 21s. Don't worry about the first team. They're bringing the money for it from the. I have no faith, because I have no faith in what's his name, Wilcox. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Him and Pharrell are obviously arguing over players. But if it was me, I'd go sign the 1 or 2 players that you need and pick up others if you can. Sign your 2 central midfielders. We've got Heaven coming through. Heaven plays with Martinez, or De Ligt if we can make him fit. I would have given Harry Maguire his contract extension. What's he done wrong? He's certainly earned one right now, hasn't he? Casemiro's earning a contract extension this season, and we're letting him go. So. Yeah, it's very hard, Jarvis, because we're talking about the players, as soon as they're linked with Man United, being 100 million. No one less than 70, 80 million.
Yeah, you make an issue with the valuation, and I think that's one of the biggest problems at the moment. I think Ineos and the Glazers are trying to save up as much money as possible to be ready for this big summer transfer window, but I think it will bite themselves in their ass. That's the biggest issue for them now, because we are linked to all these players, and there are many good midfielders available this summer, but all are in the, let's say, from 65 to 120 million bracket. And it's about timing. We have the World Cup. When we will get them in, will they have a pre-season? Will they be ready? Why will they come to the club? Will they come because we have a big wage budget, or do they want to come because we have something to offer? Let's say Premier League, Europa League. I don't think quite do it, and there are so many variables into this. So this is why I don't trust Omar Berrada and Wilcox and Vivell, because I don't think they know what they're into this summer. I think it will be chaos from day one. We will be linked to 1 million players, and there will be so many rumors. The agent will go mad. They will throw it out right, left, and center. Man United linked to this guy, linked to this guy, linked to this guy. We know how it is, and I think it will be worse this summer, and because we need so many players.
Jarvis, especially if we make the Champions League, he would even get more crazy if we make the Champions League. Because then these players, to get the prices up of these players, they will do that. But I'll let Stu go.
I think there's going to be a freeze on pricing this summer. I don't think there'll be stupid pricing this summer, particularly because players will want to get done before the World Cup. They're not going to piss about after the World Cup. Any serious footballer wants to move before the World Cup. But players out there, I would bring in Anderson from Fulham tomorrow, any day of the week, centre half, brilliant centre half. I would bring in Berger, no problem whatsoever. That would be absolutely key for me. And then I'd go and look and see what we've got. I'd look at the relegated clubs. Joe Gomez at Wolves. I've seen him live now 3 times. Fantastic footballer. He really is a fantastic footballer. You get him less than 50. And see what is in and around there. I agree. I think bring Vitek back. Tell him, look, you're going to play FA Cup. You're going to play Carabao Cup. So I'm not going to have to spend money there. We're still paying his salary, don't forget, even at Bristol City. So that's not going to change us. We're going to make a shitload of money in savings on salaries. Sancho, don't forget, is gone. He's on 200 grand a week. Casemiro,
all the ones around the 300 grand is 15 million a year.
So we're going to make a shitload on salaries as well. And so we need to use it. We are going to have to make a statement signing. I totally agree. Who that statement signing should be, I don't know. I really don't. But I think we are going to have to make a statement signing. If you could get Mickey van der Ven out of Tottenham as well, I would do that deal. I would do that deal. And then you've got to look at where you want to go fullback wise, and what type of fullback you want. I agree. In Carrick's system, we need a left winger, but we might not need a left winger in the new manager's system. So we'll have to consider that. But right now, we'll need a left winger. But who would you go for on that one? I don't know. I think we've got enough in the club to maybe deal with that position. And so you get Anderson, Berger, Gomez, I think, for about 120, 130. And they're three good replacements. You'd have to pay a little bit for Van der Ven, depending on where Tottenham finish, because where are they now? 12th, 13th, 14th, something like that. You'd have to pay a lot of money for Van der Ven.
I think we're talking maybe 80 million.
Yeah, well, you would do.
Yeah, it will be something in the top percent.
Yeah, you would do. And then I would look at that one statement signing, whoever that statement midfielder would be. And if we did go for,
do we make a statement sale?
Yeah, well, I think Bruno's likely to go anyway. I think Bruno's gonna. I think we're gonna cash in on Bruno, whatever the amount. Anyway, I really do think that's the thing for me. I think we will do that. We will cash in on him. We do need a striker, and a 9, whoever that is. Not many out there, really that we should consider or could consider. I like Sangara, by the way, Jarvis. I don't know what type of money you get. Liverpool have done a very smart bit of business today.
Yeah,
very smart piece of business. He's not coming till the summer. Great deal. No pissing about. He was available. They went and got him. Apparently, we looked at him, but we couldn't be bothered. No, it's the centre half, isn't it? What's his name, Jarvis? Can't remember.
Yeah. The French guy.
Yeah.
No, the guy they say signed yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, was it yesterday? I thought he signed him today. Sorry, it was yesterday, was it? But anyway, it's a great piece of business. 65 million, something like that.
Yeah, we were actually linked to that guy also.
Yeah. And then
Jacket.
And then I'd put a cheeky bid in. I'll be honest with you. I'd go to Arsenal with a cheeky bid for Eze. And see if he could prize Eze out of Arsenal. I know he's only just signed, but I'd go for a cheeky bid there. And that's what I would do. And I reckon you could get most of that done for about 250. I don't think
got more chance of getting Odegaard than Eze.
I'd put a cheeky bid in for him, to be honest. I think he made the wrong move, to be fair. And I think you get all that done for about 250, plus what we save And if somebody does come, whoever, I don't know where the 100 million players are anymore, by the way. I really don't. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you could reel off 4 or 5. You can't today. I just don't know where they are. They don't exist anymore, in my opinion. There's nobody out there.
Everyone exists if someone's willing to pay it. That's the problem. And Chelsea are always willing to pay it. Liverpool are always willing to pay it.
Let them do it then. I'd let them do it. I really would let them do it, because look at Aston Villa. They haven't got anybody you would consider to be 100 million apart from Morgan Rogers, who paid 70 million for him. They've got nobody out there that's particularly on everybody's lips. Look at what they're doing. They're a well-oiled machine, good unit, winning games, third in the league. City, Liverpool, idiots. Arsenal really have built a squad. They spent a lot of money, but they've built a squad on players from Palace. They built a squad of players from clubs like Corinthians and to places like that. You don't have to go to Real Madrid. You don't have to go to fucking Barcelona. You don't have to go to these places. Go to Sunderland. Have a look and see what they've got. Why are they 8th or 9th in the league at the minute? What are they doing? That's what we should be doing. The
only team in the Premier League, Sunderland, to have their home record, unbeaten record at home.
Yeah, but what again? 3-0. I know they only beat Burnley, but they won 3-0. When you look at and Nuruddin will remember this. 1990, this time last year, we were 17th.
Yeah.
In the first division, and we were playing City on the 3rd of September. I think we drew the game 1 apiece, and then we had our FA Cup game, and the rest is history for Fergie. But we didn't have what you would class at the time. Mark Hughes was a brilliant player, but he wasn't top of the table. These players, they weren't top end. We bought Steve Bruce from Norwich, for fuck's sake.
Did we buy? Was it the year before, the year after we bought Dennis Irwin from Oldham?
But Dennis Irwin from Oldham. We bought these players. It's true. Cantona we got from Leeds. Remember, I know they just won the league at the time, but they were struggling.
Alistair from Middlesbrough, Roy Keane, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, so we have bought these top players from what we consider to be clubs beneath us, but they're not beneath us anymore. They are.
Also, we bought them for record fees at a time. Don't
Dennis
forget,
Irwin,
they were still record fees. The clubs were
Dennis
so poorly
Irwin.
run. Our
Dennis
transfer
Irwin.
was paid.
Dennis Irwin was pittance.
Right.
Cantona, pittance. Mark Hughes, pittance. Brian McClare, pittance. They're all Steve Bruce, pittance.
Where did we get McClare from?
Celtic, pittance. Peter Schmeichel, pittance. Alistair, pittance. We did. Roy Keane was a club record at the time, 3.5. Then I
wasn't Alistair the most expensive centre back when we signed him? I think we paid 1 million or something.
1 million,
a huge amount.
Maybe 1.5.
Who's that? Who?
Alistair. Gary Pallister.
He might have paid 2 million, but he wasn't the most expensive player at that time.
Man United have always led in paying the highest prices for players.
No,
For real talent, like Rio, Roy Keane.
For real talent.
Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, yes. Yeah.
But we haven't. Look, Owen cost fuck all from Oldham. Look at him, the best, probably
in
the
best
Premier League right back, left back ever.
Yeah, but I'll give you the complete opposite. Robinson for fucking Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Look what. Yeah,
8 million. Was it 8 million?
Or 7 million from Hull.
Yeah.
7 million from Hull. So we've done it in the past. We don't have to keep paying 100 million for a fucking player. Let's go.
But all these other teams have done that now. We can't. Now the Man United tax does exist. And if we, like we said, if we went for Cucurella when he was 4 million, he wouldn't have been 4 million to Man United. It would have been fucking 20, 30 million.
But let them do it. But let them do it now. We don't need to do that.
We don't. You just say we need to go find the best young, cheap talent. It's not cheap to us. They whack the price up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you can pay 50 million for Gomez and 80 million for Anderson, pay the 50 million for Gomez. Fuck the 80 million. What's the fucking point? What is the point of spending 80 to 100 million for Anderson? Let fucking Liverpool do that. Let City do that. Let everybody else do that. We need to get players that are going to come in, start from scratch, like Cunha, Manchester United footballer, like Mbeumo, Manchester United player. We've got from the Premier League, they're in and they're starting, they're playing. We got a brilliant deal on Lamans, which we got, nobody knew. We got a great deal on Lamans. Let's start looking around at teams that have been consistent for the last 3-4 years: Brighton, Bournemouth, Villa, Palace, and start looking at these players and getting good quality players at a reduced rate. That's what we should be doing. That's how you build a squad. You don't just have to go and spend 612. I thought he was 500,000 actually. Retro. I thought he was a bit cheaper than that. But anyway, 620 is still cheap, isn't it? It was cheap. And that's what I would be doing. So I would go to Fulham and say, sorry, Silver, I want X, Y, and Z. I want these players, so I'm going to go and get them. That's, what, in my opinion, we should be doing it. And I think you could probably solve your problems with 250 mil.
And you know what? The only other thing I'll say, I actually think you can also look at the Championship as well. I really think you can look at the top range of the Championship. You could look at some of the talent in the Championship. I really do think that. But for me, that guys, what we're talking about is a football club. We're not a football club. Let's be realistic. We're not a football club. We're not run like a football club. We're run like a corporation. Like it's a oil tanker. You know what I mean? Like we're shop floor in a big retail center. That's what.
Actually, Nordin, I disagree with you there. That's how it seems what we run. Do you know what a corporation does? They go and find a club that's in trouble, say, or down there, and go, "Wait, you're going to struggle for cash. We'll take him off your hands." They take your best assets and they fucking stitch you up and they leave you high and dry. We can't even do that.
No, but that's what. Listen, what you just described,
corporation.
It's what Ineos are doing to Manchester United with the Glazers. That's what they're doing to us. They're asset stripping. And have you not noticed that we have the highest, I think, the 4th or the 5th highest wage in that
bill.
Yeah. I mean, we used to be the top 2. I mean, we used to be for years under Woodward and all them. They used to give everybody the contract. But still, the other way. So for me, the other way is not either. So it's not like paying the biggest wages and then paying the lowest wages. It's not. You need to find a balance somewhere in the middle. Top quality players, pay them for what they're worth. Give them what they're worth. But the others, don't just buy players and put them on ridiculous 7-year contracts, paying them the amount of money that you're paying them. Don't do it. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm not going to lie to you. So it's what I'm going to make a prediction here. And I genuinely hope I am wrong. Call me negative all you want. I am the realest there is, as real as it gets, especially when it comes to these clowns behind me, these names here. I'm going to predict, if they don't give the job to Carrick, most likely our next manager is going to be in the World Cup. Our next manager, the next manager of Manchester United, if Carrick doesn't, do something miraculous, finishing 3rd or 2nd or whatever, and I don't give it him.
Carlo Ancelotti, that's him.
Then that's what I'm saying to Carlos Ancelotti. I'm going to name you the managers now. Brazil might go late stages, quarterfinals. Last time they were there in '94, they won it. I don't know if they've got a serious squad. Have you seen Brazil's squad? They've got 3 players in every position, by the way.
Yeah, it's a very good squad. Very good squad.
You just got to get the best out of them. So, look, you got that there, right? Ancelotti, Tuchel with England quarterfinals. Yeah. They got a team to go to the quarterfinals. Then it's a guy, that little old fella used to manage Tottenham that we forgot about. Pochettino.
Not for me, but I know what you mean. Not for me.
So you got Thomas Tuchel, Ancelotti, and I've just named him, Pochettino. Who else are we linked with in the World Cup? Nagelsmann. That's 4. So you expect Germany, England, Brazil to make it to the what? At least in around the last 16.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. All of those should be last 16. Yeah.
Okay. So then the only thing is the host, in it. It's the US if they get out early.
The US of A.
It's Pochettino. It's Pochettino, so they'll hire Pochettino, and then it'll be chaos. And you know what? I'm going to set the scenario out for you now. Pochettino will come. He'll work on the Ineos. He'll be a first-team coach. He won't say jack. He'll do the same he did at Spurs.
Yeah,
Try to coach players on a budget.
Yeah. And we
That's
don't
what
want
Indians
them.
are looking for. Let's
Yeah.
be real. Ancelotti would come and still ask for money. And Ancelotti, especially if he wins something, he will get more power like Klopp did. And then
He's the only one, I think, Ancelotti. I know Boxing Straight Talk is a bit worried about his age. I think he's ideal to nurture Carrick, Nuruddin. My ideal scenario would be to bring in Ancelotti, keep Carrick as his two, keep Steve Holland in there, because we know how good a coach Steve Holland is. But, forget the Gareth Southgate thing. Holland is a great coach.
yeah, 100%.
Filter the people that Ancelotti wants around him. He'll get the players he wants. He'll get us going. And then in 2 years' time, Carrick should be in a much better position to be that person. He needs,
And you know what? Holland is a
Holland.
United fan. He's a Stretford Ender from back in the day.
Yeah.
He's from Stockport. But
Yeah.
he's a Stockport Red. But I'll say this.
He's a stocky.
Stocky red. The thing I'll say is that, you could think that. Some people do say though, Stu, we need a guy before Ancelotti. Ancelotti would be the last guy when you get the coaching right, you get the basic fundamentals of the football club right. Manchester United become a football club, hire a good coach. Then he's the guy to motivate the top players you buy in to go, let's go and win the league. Let's go and challenge for the Champions
He would
League.
be the one, yeah.
So it's that. So it's saying Ancelotti should be there should be a guy before Ancelotti to give. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm getting lost. I don't know why, but I just don't see it. I don't see it, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on here. I'm just sick of their PR and BS, and I'm hope and pray, touch this wood, that I am totally wrong, and that Ineos prove me wrong. Go out, splash the cash. Go on, make fantastic signings. Use 250, like Stu said, like Matt said. Sign those players that we need. Become a football club again, and actually go and get somebody and get it all done before the first game kicks off at the World Cup.
You've got to get rid of. No, I agree. Yeah, you've got to get rid of Wilcox, by the way, in the summer as well.
What?
He's got to go. Yeah. Wilcox has to go.
Oh,
Wilcox
in the summer.
Wilcox, and both of them need to go.
Yeah.
Jim the Rat needs to go. Glazers need to go. They all need to go, Stu. All of them. The 60 million pounds they spent and sacked nearly 500 working class Mancunians.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I agree. They've all got to go. They have. But I think 250, we could get it done if we're sensible what we do. And here's the best thing, by the way, about the players I would like to bring in. Sander Berge, he ain't going to care what you're paying. He won't. He won't give a fuck. And Noel Anderson, fucking Man United. Yes, please. They won't care. Gomez, he won't care what you pay him. Elliot Anderson will.
But all of these will think Champions League. League. I'm playing against my compatriots.
Yeah. Elliot Anderson won a big contract. Morgan Rogers would want a big contract. There are players that want big contracts. There are other players that won't. They won't want big contracts. They'll come and they'll take 100 grand, 150 grand. They'll take it.
Here's one for you. You said United needed a name. He's only young. He's not done it that often. But the potential's there. Would you bring back Wivenshaw Palmer?
No.
Would ya? Would you be tempted to bring him home?
The problem we've got.
He's sick of London.
Yeah,
he's sick of it.
The problem we got, Nuruddin, is 9 years left on his contract. I mean, he would have to by himself. He would have to come out with a deal to Chelsea.
Well, we said it could be up at around 150 to 200 million to get him out.
It's a non-deal. He would have to do a deal.
This is where I disagree with you fundamentally. I think Chelsea have stockpiled these players. I think we could get him for 80 to 90 if he wants to come. I really don't think. I think the Chelsea owners are doing some sort of money ball. I think there's some sort of underhanded things going on at Chelsea. By the way, I keep looking over my shoulder because my neighbour's calling me because Scholes is out there battling 3-4 cats.
Is he?
He's scrapping.
Brilliant.
He's scrapping outside. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I know some of the people. He's from Wivenshaw, and If he was to come back, I think he's a United fan. I think that Old Trafford crowd would take to him because he's got that bit of magic on his face.
If we still Bruno, I'll take him.
Yeah, but this is the point where I'm talking. I genuinely do think. I don't think the Chelsea lot know what the F they're doing. You guys think that we're dealing with a football club that knows everything. They don't. They're interchanging, buying young players here and there and selling. I think they're doing some. I'm not lying to you. There's something dodgy going on with this Chelsea takeover. And how many different? They've got 5 sporting directors. You telling me something dodgy is not going on? How 5 sporting directors?
I would take it.
Their owner's just been pictured with Epstein, so it's fucking investigation going that way.
Excuse me, Mark. Go back to United Real Therapy. Go back to the videos. I said it in the summer. I said soon as they sold Madueke for 50 million to Arsenal, I said Todd Bowley is doing, and honestly, I kept repeating it. People are like, no, I've ordered some Chelsea. I said, honestly, go and look at the videos. There are about 4 or 5 videos where I'm like, shows, Jarvis, how many times were you on with me when I said they're doing Epstein? They're the Epstein of football, I called them. I said, Chelsea are the Epstein. They've got things on everybody. I'm telling you, they've got videos.
That is funny, that is. I would take Cole Palmer. I do like him. But I think, Bruno would have to go, wouldn't he? We wouldn't want Bruno and Cole Palmer in the same team, so he would have to go.
At the end of the day, all I ask for is players that want to run.
And never did put this on.
It's the outro music on the Oscars, when you have to wrap it up because we have to move on with the show and we have Q&A coming on.
Oh, fucking hell, Jesus, you've got an early flight, haven't you? Sorry.
Yes. Let's do this. Sorry for interrupting you, Mark. You will have plenty of opportunities to talk. We have a lot of questions in and let's do the jingle and we will do the Q&A.
I beg you, please play that music a bit more.
Wow.
That's one of the best theme tunes ever on any show.
It is
swear to God. You get into it.
It is good. We have 18 minutes.
Well, we don't have to do. We can do more than 2 hours. It's okay for me, but we can't do 3 hours. That's the limit.
We're not doing 3 hours. We will cut off at 2.5 if we get that far. But we do have some questions, and Trev's not in the house today, so there's no. Trev hasn't given us his usual 50 questions. But let's start with a question from last night, and that's from Paul Tobin. I don't think he's in either, but if he watches the show back, he'll see his question. And it's a question from Ian Jarvis, and he says, "How has Lamans been? How do we think he's been? He's only kept 3 clean sheets, but doesn't seem to be making any one-on-one howlers or non-howlers.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of today's game that you're going to concede." Jarvis, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, Lamans I think he's great. As I said yesterday, he's a steady Eddie in a way, but he does everything right. He doesn't seem to be a goalkeeper who tries to do some showboat saves. He just stands on his feet and react when needed and comes out. I think he has a lot of courage going into the box and knocking the ball out. Under pressure, it's not for everyone. We saw even David De Gea struggle with this for so many years, and you have to be tough enough to do this in the Premier League. So Lamans, fantastic goalkeeper, and we only see in the beginning, he's young. That's the thing.
Yeah, he surprised me. As you well know, me old mate. It wouldn't have been my first choice. Hold my hands up, but I think he's added an air of calmness, Paul, to us. But some of the goals he's conceded, by the way, you just don't stop him anyway. So I think the modern game is different. But we seem to have a goalkeeper on our hands, and I'm quite pleased with that. So, Paul, I hope that answers your question. There's another one. We did touch on this last night, Gordon, and we have again touched on it today. What time did Casemiro go off? Do you think that dropping off was the tactical muscle memory? Oh, we spoke about this last night, didn't we, Jarvis? You answered it.
Yeah, I think you
did.
The questions are still here, so
yeah, we answered that one last night. Sorry, Gordon. I know we answered that last night. Right then. Okay. Bilal. Let's come in. Anyone can take this. Free for all. He said, how many goals has Sesko scored for us now?
How many goals has Sesko scored for us now? Well, he's got 4 in his last 4 or 5 games or whatever.
4 and 5, but he scored 5 goals in total.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I hope that answers your question, because that's what you asked and that's what you've got.
Big up Titanium.
Big up Jamie. Jamie says, Jarvis and Stu, are we doing 5 in a row or am I just giddy? Now, Jarvis can answer on behalf of me because he knows what I think, don't you, pal?
5
yeah.
What?
5 wins.
5 wins in a row. So me and Jarvis were on the show, and I think we'll win all 5, as Jarvis knows. You weren't so sure, were you, pal?
Nah, well, convince me. I saw some weaknesses against Fulham, and we have tough games. Every game in the Premier League is a tough game, and that's just how it is. And as I said yesterday, and the topic of the show, I think Carrick, the other managers knows more and more about what Carrick is coming with, and now it's time for him to prove it. We need to see more games, and maybe Carrick will be the regular manager or head coach next season, but he needs to prove it. And for me now, it's the time. I was hoping to see more, to get more answers from the Fulham game, but it only gave me more questions, and that's a worry. But maybe in the next game against Spurs, we will see another Man United team.
I'm worried about Spurs, by the way, if they play 2 up front.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Frank's cutting his hair, by the way, joining on Thursday for our predictions for Spurs. But I think Frank is cutting his hair at long last, because he deserves it, because it's fucking long now. Mark, Trevor says, where do you rate Lamon's importance as a signing this season after Mbeumo and Cunha? He steadied ship.
You are on yesterday's question, Stu. Trevor is not in the chat, so
we didn't do that yesterday. I don't recall answering that.
No.
I've funny enough, answered a similar question from Trevor on my previous show.
The first question is from Catherine McDade.
I've got it here, yes. I didn't recall answering that.
So go from there and down.
It's the most important signing we had. It's more important from the strikers, because we had Onana in goal. It's simple as that.
Catherine says, what is Berger's release clause, lads? Anyone know if Sander Berge has a release clause?
I don't think he has a release clause, but okay, let's pretend. What's his worth? How much money do you think we actually have to pay up to get Sander Berge?
If Gallagher went for 40, was it 40 million euros or was it 40 million?
45.
For 45 million euros.
I think it was euros, yeah.
Okay. Then he's better than Sander Berge as a holding midfielder in the league.
By the way, I'll tell you who's got. Can I just say quickly? Can I just quickly say, Tonali has got a release clause because his agent doesn't come out and offer them to Arsenal.
Fantastic.
That was mad. He's definitely got. The only way you can describe it, he's definitely got a buyout clause. Tonali
wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. The guy got banned for the betting. Now his agent's offering him to clubs. Wouldn't go near him. There's certain things in football that are red flags, and that's 2 of them.
He's a fantastic player, Tonali, isn't he? I'd have him tomorrow. I think he's fucking brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah, but then
brilliant.
He could be banned again for something else, or it's just, if the agent's going to be offering you around while you're still within contract, shit like that, you don't want to go near that player.
Well, I'd have him.
Matt, you've gone soft in your old age. Fergie,
fucking great.
bailing out Roy Keane from Booth Street, Central Money. What are we doing here? I've been on a bender for a week.
You're going to need to get rid of him. We'll sign you, but he's got to go. That's what used to happen, didn't it? You know, they tell you get rid of your agent, get a
Oh,
different
yeah,
agent.
go, yeah. I think we'll get Sander Berg for less than 50. What do you reckon, Jarvis?
Well, they signed him for 20 plus 5 million.
25, correct.
And his contract ends in 2029. He has an option for a 12 months add-on extension. So, you know, but Fulham is selling.
Is he a United fan?
I don't know. It's either United or Liverpool. That's the Norwegians for you.
That's the ratio.
That's the ratio.
What,
So it's 50.
United?
It's 50-50. I don't know.
Is it 50-50? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's
In Norway.
50-50. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Liverpool are that big.
Liverpool are big in Norway, yeah.
Massive.
Liverpool and United.
Yeah.
Arsenal, it's not that big. Chelsea is not that big. You know, it's mainly the two top clubs. Yeah, but you have a lot of fan bases for the lower league clubs like Preston North End, and you know, yeah, it's crazy.
Notts County.
Notts County, yeah, 100%.
Notts County. You've been Notts County alone.
Aston Villa, yeah.
Stockport County, definitely.
Yeah.
No,
Stockport who?
No, a lot of Everton fans, by the way. Everton fans.
Wow.
So yeah,
from the 80s team. Yeah?
From the 80s,
probably.
yeah.
Catherine, I hope that answers your question. I think in and around the 50 million.
I would say you won't get him for any cheaper than 80 million because you're asking to get him for the same price we signed Mason Mount for. So that ain't happening. In my opinion.
No, you're not going to pay 80. No, the Fulham aren't that stupid. 50 million, Sander Berg. 80, no chance. He's no chance. No chance.
So you think there's that many players better than him in the league?
That's got nothing to do with it.
It is.
Absolutely zero to
So
do
you
with it.
judge value of a player.
He's 27 years old. You're
Declan
not
Rice
paying
is less.
you're not paying 80 million for that. Come on, Mark. Be serious.
How much did we pay for Matic?
30,
20 something million, 20
27, 27, 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many years ago, Jarvis?
Yeah, but you know, okay, in the current markets, I reckon
50
45 million.
45, 50.
45, 40 plus 5.
I'm just saying,
something.
I'm going on what you have that they asked for. You're saying what you pay for. Maybe you negotiate down, but 9 times out of 10, United can't do that. So they're going to ask for 80. And
What did they pay
is he
for
worth
it?
50? Yeah, 50 is what he's worth. But they will
20
ask
plus-
80.
20 plus 5.
20 plus
Okay,
5.
so we're doubling their money if you give them 50 or 45. We're doubling their money.
Anyway, Danny B said, if we make Nuruddin is for you, if we make Europe, we need at least 7 signings in the summer. Do you agree?
I said 8 to 9. If you were listening,
We
they got
kind of
Irish
take-
funny,
take-
yeah. 7, 8, 9. I said 7, 8, 9. We need a top quality replacements for a lot of the players that are going out, and also, like Mark said, that we need to be able to have a robust squad that can play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. So you know what I mean. And I don't want Europa League. I'm sick of Europa League, and I definitely don't want Conference. Champions League or bust for me. It's simple. But that's what a football club would do. We'll make 8, 9 signings. But what they could have done, Irish, they could have signed 3 players in this January and eased themselves to sign maybe 6 in the summer or 5 in the summer. But no, they don't think like that. They don't think like that. They're clowns.
That is true. Thanks, Danny B. Good question. I hope that answers it. Nick says, Jarvis, this one's for you. If we make Champions League, would you extend Casemiro with a 1-year contract? You can't now anyway, but would you have?
No, but mainly because of his wages. I think it's vital that we get Casemiro out. He's a fantastic footballer, but I think if we are going to do this rebuild, whatever Ineos is bringing, Casemiro is a player from the past. You know, although he's a good player, it doesn't matter. You know, he's overpaid, he's too old, so it doesn't fit with the profile, so to say.
Yes. Okay.
Nothing negative about Casemiro. I think he's a good player, man of the match yesterday, but
we've got a question from King Cobra, which will,
the only thing I would add to that, if Casemiro's got to go, Maguire's got to go as well. I'm sorry to say.
Well, they've not announced his extension, have they? So he's got to be on his way out.
I think he'll probably go in the summer. Yeah.
There's no future with Maguire. For me, if you pass that age, you got all that injuries. there is no future for him to keep him. But there'll be a campaign by the British press to keep him. Watch it.
West Ham, go to West Ham. You'll fit in perfectly there. West Ham's a place for him. Kim Carrick has sent us a question, which we'll ask at the end. Sirius Bart fan says, Mark, this is for you. Will United have more than one new signing in place before your pre-season?
Of course. And it'll be the marquee signing because we've got a kit to sell.
We'll have three, although the blue one looks mint.
Thinking as a businessman.
The blue one looks absolutely mint. If that's what it is, it's very reminiscent of the 80s. Very.
Yeah, I thought the red. I don't like the red one at all.
No, I'm not a fan of
looks
the
like
red
it's
one.
been glued on, so I don't think they are official. I know they're the leagues. I've seen all of them.
Yeah, the
And
blue
I
one.
agree with you. The away and third kit, but the red kit, Jesus Christ, it looks horrendous.
Vile, isn't it?
But yeah, we're going to make signings to sell merchandise. So we would have to make our marquee signing. The problem with a marquee signing, it pushes the prices up for the rest of your signings. So you have to sign your least important and leave your best player till the end. That's the way you should do signings, or try and get them all done in one day.
Yeah, definitely. You've got another couple of questions, Sirius Bartman. We'll go back to those, but here's one for Jarvis.
Yep.
We already have Brazilian footballs called Malcolm, Anthony, Kevin. How close are we to having Brazilian players called Jarvis and Stu? Wow.
Oh,
No,
Jarvinho.
They're out there already, pal. We just didn't want to say anything. They'll be on these shores momentarily.
As we speak right now, there's the Brazilian parents watching from Rio de Janeiro, calling their son Stuart Dino.
Yes, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Jarvinho. or
Jarvinho.
Little Garincha.
Yeah, Garincha, that was my nickname, by the way. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. He's never mentioned it before, by the way, everybody.
No,
but
never heard about it.
You know that he had a bow-legged. Do you know that?
Garincha, Garincha had one leg shorter than the other, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was. It was weird, wasn't it? But what a player! Jesus, he could dance. I mean, some might say that Jarvis actually has a warm-up routine very similar to what Maradona stole off him.
I had a kick about with in Rio when I went to Rio. I had a kick about with one of the oldest freestyle footballers. You know, the keep it uppy guys.
Yeah.
He's in his 80s, and I was asking him about Garincha. He was like, "What a player!" I said, "Who's your favorite Brazilian player?" He said, Garincha.
Gosh, he was phenomenal.
I thought, not Pele. He says, Pele, yes, everybody loved Pele, but Garincha. It's like, wow.
I was a little bit weird. I liked Adair. I think he had
Adair, the tall fella, yes.
Yeah, what a left foot he had. What a left foot.
I love
Socrates, what a player.
Roberto Carlos.
My uncle had a VH tape of 1980s Brazil, 1982 Brazil, and he would make me watch it again and again and again till the Italians knocked them out, you know. And I'll be
you're not talking about the generational Paolo Rossi, are you, by any chance?
That running like.
And then Scalacci, he did something similar in the 90s, didn't he?
90s, yeah.
Brilliant. Great question. Love questions like that. They're always funny, offer a good element. Nuruddin, question for you from Ender Madness. And he says, do you think there will be more lifelong United fans that always wanted to play for this magnificent club when we were in the Champions League?
Do you think there will be?
I think he's talking about players. You asked about.
Yeah. I think for me, the two fascinating ones this summer, and they both wanted to come to Manchester United, in Birmingham and Cunha, because they were fans. I think if Manchester United don't win a Premier League within the next 4 years, or a Champions League within the next 5 years, I think we're going to lose a generation to Man City and whoever the club is. And I think we're going to be the best in history. I don't see us recovering. So we have to win the next league title in the next 3 to 4 years and a Champions League. And if we don't, there's going to be a generation of children that are not growing up supporting Manchester United or seeing Manchester United in the way they see us. We will always be Manchester United. But at the end of the day, that's what the most impressive thing was in the summer. Players who really wanted to come. Cunha said it was a dream. Remember, Jarvis, we saw Cunha 2 years ago. 2 years ago, in the video sitting around in Brazil. It's like Manchester United, the dream, Manchester United.
Yeah.
You know, talking about that. And then you got Mbeumo going, he watched Rooney, Ronaldo. These were some of his favorite players.
It's weird, isn't it, when he says that, and Mbeumo. He looks older than both of them two still.
I genuinely don't think he's not playing well. He's scoring, but I actually don't think he's playing well on the ball.
No, I'd agree.
And he wasn't that great for the AFCON either.
No. Great question in the madness. You always do come up with some ones. Boxing Straight Talk thinks that if we can get Sander Berge for 40 million.
Sorry, guys, I've got to go. My neighbour's ringing again. Cats are fighting. Apparently, they might be on the road.
Okay.
Some pictures of Scholesy putting the paw in.
I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
Oh, he's gone. Wow. Sander Berge for 40 million, absolute bargain. Boxing Straight Talk, I agree with you more, mate. It'd be brilliant for us. Mark, question: if Carrick gets top 4 playing the United way, do we know what the United way is at the moment? Would you still give him the job, or still go for the top manager we had before and didn't work? He's obviously talking about Mourinho. He's talking about Van Gaal.
Well, it's the coulda, shoulda, woulda question. If Carrick gets top 4 and we win games, that's like sacking the manager for finishing second, isn't it? That's technically what we're doing, because right now we're looking at a miracle to get in top 4 from where we were 2 months ago. But it's awkward. The United way is just attacking football, right? Pass forward, attack forward, run forward, don't give up to the last 90 minutes, the end of or 101 minutes like yesterday. So I don't know, like if Amorim came in and he was where we are right now and we were playing this way, we'd be raving about Amorim. So why can't that be Carrick? In that theory, I get it. If he's doing everything and we're winning games and he's beating all the big teams and he's beating the small teams, which is where we've been struggling for the last 15 years, as those little games. And we know he's got the passion. We know he's got everything that this club is built on. That's the fear of bringing in an Ancelotti, a Tuchel, whatever. They're there to do a job and be them. Whereas we've always wanted a manager who's all about the club. So I really don't know. I genuinely don't, because yesterday I thought we just did the job. We got the job done, which is Fulham's that kind of team that you have to go out and play and get the job done. It's about 1-0 off your backside, Stu, and you walk away out happy and you don't lose at home. We should be playing with passion. We should be playing with excitement every single game. Why we still don't turn up and do that against a Fulham like we would do against Man City, I don't know, because I think the players are weak. There was definitely egos on the pitch. So he's still going to have the same problems. But then the next manager is going to have that problem, because that's how football's changed. It's too early to call. I think we could slip up against Tottenham, if I'm honest. I think we're still a mental thing because of last season. They beat us every time they played us recently. But they have still got injuries. They've got no defenders, have they, currently?
No, they've got big problems.
No creative players. I think Harry Maguire thingy can deal with Solanke with ease compared to Man City. We know Man City were weak at the back, hence the reason we beat them. So I don't know. He's doing everything right. All you can do is win the next game, as he says. And that's all we would do as players. And if you've won every game to the end of the season, can you honestly get rid of him? If he finishes third or second, like seriously, I think
you can't. No.
I'm in the minority then, because I would move him on and keep him.
Yeah, but it would be madness if you win all the game and let's say come in third or second. But it would be madness.
It would be, but
we don't have to give him a 5-year contract.
You can't prove the next manager comes in and does better.
No,
That's the
but,
madness. And that's
no,
the scenario, isn't it? It's,
no,
you don't know.
But I think if you keep him, and we have an Ollie situation, then where are we? We're nowhere.
Agree.
Well, it doesn't
If we-
automatically mean that
If
Carrick
we
will be
keep
a new
him-
Ollie.
No, but it
And
could
the
happen.
circumstances with Ollie was, I would say, it was different because he wasn't backed properly.
Yeah,
and-
but if we keep him, I would
Yeah.
bring somebody of major experience in as director of football then to
That one I
not
can
big
agree.
to do that.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I
the
think
same as Jarvis saying we need an experienced Premier League manager / coach under Amorim, wasn't it? To have next to him. It's about
Well-
strengthening the connections throughout the club who know and we're all going in one direction.
well, you
But
do.
what you just said
Yeah.
about Carrick here, if you just bring it up, if Carrick does amazing and they sack him, there's no way the next manager is under a hell of a lot of pressure to emulate what Carrick's done. It's a no-win situation. The only way a new manager comes in and has that full backing from us is if Carrick does shit. But if Carrick does good, the next manager's now got to live up to that expectation. So if it's not an Ancelotti,
Well,
I
if
know
you
you
want
said
to
like
manage Man
Carrick
United,
on as a coach.
yeah, if you want to win, if you want to be at Man United, you've got to be that type of that person. I think we've got to say thanks, but no thanks. I'm sorry, I'm with Roy Keane on this one. I think we're going to say thanks, but no thanks. Brilliant steady the ship. We got to move on, but I want you to stay. I want you to stay in
That's
with the
not
club.
He's more or less said that himself. He wants to be a first team manager. Why would he stay?
Well, that's up to him. If he wants to manage Man United again, that's up to him,
And
isn't
plus, imagine that manager's losing the first couple of matches, and Carrick, who's unbeaten, had this amazing run, sat next to him. It's a shower of shit. You just wouldn't do it.
But it depends who you get in.
It depends who you get in, but the results are everything's dependent on results.
If you get Ancelotti in there, it's perfect. It's a perfect scenario for us. If you bring in Nagelsmann, it won't work. So that there's your scenario. I wouldn't keep him. I just wouldn't do
Your
it.
opinion is you are entitled, Stu, but I
wouldn't do
think you are in the minority for once.
No, but I will be in the minority, and I get why I would be in the minority. But at the end of the day, if he has a brilliant to the end of the season, we go and give him a 2-year contract, and it all goes wrong the following season. Kind of nowhere. We're back to square one. I'm not saying that we don't keep him on as manager, and we try and keep him within the club, and then somebody comes in again, and we're having the same conversation in 18 months. We might be.
Well, I agree. That's what I'm saying. You're just damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You are on this one. Yeah.
It's too early to have this conversation. Everyone's thinking he's won 5-6 games. He hasn't. He's won 3 games. Forget what happened before. Different times, different players. This is actually not that many different players, but
I know I'm getting that as well. Yeah, I've had to look.
Yeah. He hasn't made any transfers. So he hasn't built a team and he hasn't fucked up a team with his transfers.
Well,
There's a lot of things that he has and hasn't done. He's just coaching other people's players.
Yeah.
There are scenarios you've got to look at.
Yeah.
We will have this debate a million times more. So,
let's move on.
but it's a good debate. It's a good debate.
Yeah, it's a good question, Mick. By the way, I hope you're all right, pal. Serious Bart fan, you've asked a ton of questions. I'm going to quickly go through with them. One-word answers, please, because they are one-word answer questions. What is the United way? We've already answered that one. Attacking
football.
Yeah. Why would Ancelotti want so much stress in the twilight of his career? Managing Manchester United is the icing on his trifecta, because when you've managed Real Madrid, Brazil, Manchester United, that is the greatest managerial CV on the planet for me. Quick one here. Quick one. Would you take Scott Parker as your next manager? Jarvis?
No.
Mark?
No.
Me? No. These are all one-word answers.
I wouldn't even take him as a coach.
No. Graham Potter to United and
No.
Knudsen. That's the Body Glimt manager, by the way. No,
right. Okay.
He will never manage Sweden. I think he will stay at Body Glimt if not a big offer comes around, and Sweden is not it. Yes. I don't think so. He's like a man manager, a club manager. I think he will be. Yeah.
Would we take Knutson, not whatever you pronounce it, to United? Not yet.
You will probably say Knutson.
We probably would, yeah. We probably would. Not
we
yet.
say Knutson.
Let's wait and see what he does in 5 years' time.
Mm.
This is a really good one, Jarvis. You can take this one. Jamie says, I know you haven't got a crystal ball, by the way, but do you think we get any more injuries from here to May?
Yeah, 100%. We will get injuries. There are players that I'm worried about when it comes to injuries. And for example, a player like Kobe Mainu, injury prone, suddenly coming back, playing full 90 plus extra time in every game. His body is not adapted to this. And I think it's not a wise move to, for example, Kobe Mainu and just chuck him in there. And I think we will see an injury, knock on wood. I hope, pray to God I'm wrong. But, things like this is always worrying when we see players like this.
I hope you're right.
And also, Mason Mount will be injured 5 more times before the end of the season.
He's injured now without in training.
I know. But strangely enough, Luke Shaw will stay fit and he will be in the England squad in the World Cup. But he will be injured when we come home to pre-season.
Yes. You've heard it here first, Jamie. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Boxing out something about Luke Shaw. We all make jokes about he's always fit for a tournament.
Yes.
But if you look at his record, he plays the whole season before the tournament. He then goes into the tournament, plays every game, doesn't get a break, and has a breakdown the following year. Is it because he's overplayed by Manchester United, who never have a left-back replacement? And he's obviously playing every game for England, and then he breaks down, then he comes back the following year. It's got to be a coincidence as well. It can't just all be on Shaw.
We're blaming Shaw. I'm blaming Shaw. Very quick one. Actually, boxing there isn't, but me and Jarvis were talking about this the other day. And me and Jarvis are both in the agreement.
There are reports suggesting a move to the Saudi Pro League.
Yes, we know that he's signed there is a deal done. Hence the announcement this month. So there is a deal done, but we don't know where.
And there's also a link to LA Galaxy, actually, if he wants to go to the States, potential destination. So there are several options, but nothing I've heard about Europe.
No,
Saudi or US.
I'd like him to go back to Flamengo. I think he'd be brilliant back in Brazil. Paquetá just gone there, hasn't he? An absolute hero. It's about time Casemiro went somewhere. The hero. Right, gents. Oh, interesting. Would you put Sanderberg above Anderson or Gomez, considering they are battling relegation and Fulham are flying? I just think good teams are good midfields, lads. Anderson, Gomez worry me. Well, that's a really good point. Gomez, I've seen live a few times at Boxing Straight Talk by virtue of taking my nephew to Wolves when his dad couldn't take him. And Jarvis can back me up here. The first time I saw him, I thought he was a ghost. The second time I saw him, I thought it was rubbish, didn't I, Jarvis? The last 3 times, I've come back raving about him, haven't I?
Who did you see him play against?
Ipswich and I can't remember, but I've seen him play a couple of times like Everton and that, and he's been absolutely superb. United, Everton and Newcastle, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So Gomez is a better player than I gave him credit for because he was woeful against Ipswich. Anderson's the intriguing one for me because he's clearly everything we need as a footballer. He clearly is everything we would want as a footballer, and he's clearly integral to the way that Forest play and the way that England will play in the World Cup. His age worries me because I think he could be problematic age-wise. Still young. Can he come to Manchester United and deal with the pressure of playing at Manchester United? Who knows? Sander Berge can come in. You just click a switch, light switch, turn him on, turn him off, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever. And I believe Gomez would do the same. Anderson, that's my only worry, would be his age. I'll open the floor to you two.
Well, my only worry if we sign a player like Sander Berge is he direct enough and quick enough when it comes to going in? If, let's say, Carrick continues in the job and we want to play this deep-lying, counter-attacking type of football. If you see Casemiro in the way he plays, it's a lot of the time one-touch, forward passes. This is not Sander Berge. He likes to take his time on the ball. He's composed. He likes to dictate the tempo, and he can speed up the tempo, but he most of the time slows it down and lets player come into position. So, I rate Sander Berge so much, but in the Carrick system, I'm not 100% sure that he's the right fit. Probably a player like Wharton would be, or someone who has the passing range, from deep would probably fit better into a system, and Ruben Neves, for example. But I don't know. We don't know the next manager. That's a big difference. But I love Sander Berge, and yes, I would love to sign him above both Anderson and Gomez. It was up to me.
Yeah, Mark.
For me, it's about chemistry. There's midfielders we're linked with missing
chemistry.
Yeah, but it is about the chemistry. It's like if we keep Kobe and you're bringing in, say, Sander Berge next to him, you got little and large, right? So you got one to win the duels, one to play the ball. If you bring in Gomez and Mainu, I'm not sure that works. Same as Belieber wouldn't necessarily work with a Mainu, in my opinion. Anderson and Berge would be Anderson's tall. I agree with what you said, Stu. Is Anderson temperamental because of his age early on? But then earlier you were talking about United going to get certain other players. Well, they were young. We brought in before. It's about doing the looking into their home life and everything like that. Like any good transfer used to. Is this guy settled? How long's he been with his girlfriend? That sort of thing. Have they got a kid? So for me, there's other midfielders outside of the Premier League I would be looking at above these guys anyway. I know everyone's obsessed with Premier League proven. Well, you just need enough Premier League proven players to make a non-Premier League player fit in, right? No, we don't do that here. Think of Ronaldo. All Premier League proven signings we made before that, but we bring in Ronaldo, Kleberson. We've always brought in external players, but with the right characters around them. So for me, a Hjulman or Ederson are the kind of players I'm looking at because of how they get forward, they pass, and they battle, and maybe we get them cheaper.
I think the Hjulmans. I think that ship sailed, unfortunately. I agree with Hjulman, by the way. I do. I think he's a fucking brilliant player. I just think that ship sailed. I'm not so sure about it.
We don't know. And maybe it's about time United go out and start bidding for multiple players. Bid for your first, second, and third choice at the same fucking time, so people know that they can't drive the price up. Because if you look at what Man United bid for, how many teams have we been in a battle with for a player? The last one I remember was Martinez with Arsenal.
By the way, the problem is we're not buying Premier League proven right now. We ain't got the squad to not buy Premier League proven. We don't have the experience within the squad to not buy Premier League proven.
Okay, I'll counter that with, then do we not need to buy European experienced players if we're in the Champions League? Because we've got a load of players who have never played in Europe or gone in a Champions League.
Well, no, you play 8 games in Europe. You play 38 in the Premier League.
But it's all about the Champions League now, isn't it? It's about 200 million from the Champions League. What do you get for winning the Premier League? Peanuts.
Well, you still get 120, 130 mil. Don't forget, each team gets what is 100? Yeah, each team gets 100 mil plus your where you finish in the league. You get a lot of money for winning the Premier League, a lot more than I think people realise.
Yeah,
really. Yeah. So that was what I would say. Anyway, I can't even remember what the question was. Good question. Oh yeah, Box Straight Talk. Good question. Anyway, Serious
He's right.
Bart-
Sesko did want Newcastle, but Newcastle didn't. Sesko didn't want Newcastle at all.
He didn't want Newcastle, did he? No, that's true. Serious Bart fan says, can you see Sterling at United? I thought he was going to Tottenham, but I don't know whether that deal. I mean, he's a free agent, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we can still sign him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Do you know what? When we said we needed a left-sided player, I like half of me was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, it's an experienced player to bring in, but is he the right kind of player? Probably not. Ex-Liverpool as well.
Probably not.
You're not Michael Owen, so you don't count.
No, yeah. Good for Tottenham. I thought he was talking to Tottenham. Have I got that wrong?
He can talk to whoever and take his time. Like he can sign whenever he wants.
Yeah, free agent. I think the consensus here on the panel is no. That would be my thought process on that one. Dan talks United.
Big up, Dan.
Yeah, big up. He says it's crazy to eye up third spot. Oh, sorry. Is it crazy to eye up third spot?
No.
Nope. Villa with key players missing, Liverpool and Chelsea up and down. I think we could get third, Dan. And I'm backing Carrick, by the way, to give us a strong end to the season. So I don't think it's. We were talking about it last night, weren't we, Jarvis? We both said we could end up third.
Well, what I would say is Villa could end up below all of us. I feel Villa could be on a mass decline. And because don't forget, there's only 2 points between the three of us. So we keep winning, Villa lose another game. One is 5 points behind Villa, 6 points, 7 points. So two or three losses, and Villa have dropped from third. Straight away they're fighting it out with Fulham for 6th and 7th, aren't they?
So is City. As nuts as it seems, we're only 6 points behind City.
But that's what I mean. You just got to keep winning your game. Just don't worry about who's in front of you, because they're going to have their issues. Win your game, rest your players when you need them. But no, I'm eyeing up third, and when I'm in third, I'm eyeing up second.
Yeah. Boxing Straight Jaw just comes in on the back of his question, saying, "Is you think he preferred Prem Proven? I think that once we have that, then you can start taking little gambles." Yeah, I think we all agree on that principle, don't we? We all agree on that principle. Yeah. Story says that's our final question of the night, ladies and gentlemen, unless anything comes in. Story says if they cannot decide what manager to go for, it's difficult to get players and scouts them. Should they wait to the spring to decide?
Well, the thing is, I don't think we sign players for the manager anymore. That's why we have a footballing structure. So that's the correct answer. But I know what you're talking about, story. It's the dilemma of signing players without the manager in. Because as I said, Sander Berge, perfect midfielder. But if you are going to sit down and counterattack, we have to rely on players who can, let's say, hit it long and be precise and have tempo in another way. So it depends. And it's a brilliant question. And, I think Ineos, Berada, all of them have to sit and discuss this through, because I don't trust Wilcox to make all the right decisions when it comes to signings, to be honest. And what the hell do he know about building a squad? Did he learn in Southampton? So that's the thing, I think we need a manager in also to be the counterpart. It's okay to have a structure where you have a debate, you talk about what you want to bring in, and the football structures say, no, he's too much of a specialist. We need players who can fit in other systems. I can fully understand it, but they have to sign players who fit the manager's idea.
Well, there's certain specialists you can always sign, right?
Yeah. I was just going. All I was going to say is briefly, I love that question as well. I think it's a great question. I like questions like this. If I'm on the board at Manchester United, I've got a short list already of the 3 people that I want to interview, and I only want 3. I don't want 8. I want 10. I want 3 people, and I'm going to justify my decision with those 3 people on personality, squad building, and an ability to tame footballers. And then I'll listen to whatever else they've got, because we all know they're going to come in with a presentation. Look, the old manager did this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to use this player here, use that there, and it never fucking happens. You know, it never happens. And then I'm going to look at the types of players that he's used within his squads. I'm going to look at my squad and then look at where we've got to add. Try and preempt what he's going to say about what he wants as a player and how he's going to play. And only then will I make the phone call to the 3 managers or the 2 managers and go from there. I think it's got to be done now. I would, by the way, I'm totally with you, Jarvis, 100% with you and you, Mark. We don't buy players from the manager anymore. That does not exist. Does not exist.
But anyway, you have to.
Yes, you do. You do. It's got to go back that way. And that's my criteria, and that's how I would pick the new manager that I want to interview based on those. Sorry, Mark. I'll let you finish off.
No, I was just sort of going to say the whole thing about, is it difficult to get players in? It's sort of a toss of a coin, because I go back to your point earlier, Stu. What kind of player do you want to sign for the club? One that wants to play for Manchester United no matter what. So he doesn't care who the manager is, doesn't care about that. He wants to be here. So that's one very important but small bit of criteria, unfortunately. Because let's be fair, there's a hell of a lot of players who want to play for Man United, but they might not be good enough. And like you're saying, if we know that we've got 6 months to get a manager, so yeah, the shortlist should be one of 2. You should be talking to people and feeling it out all the way through. You know, instead of playing 2 fucking friendlies next week, get a couple of people in, talk to them on their breaks and stuff.
Straight to their agents, straight to the intermediaries. Yeah. Absolutely, totally agree.
So do that. But was it hard to get players in? Only egotistical players will want to know what player is and how much game time he's going to want. But they're sometimes the best players.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but our scouts, if our scout isn't giving me a list of 20 players every week, you know, that he's seen or what he thinks, you know, from these breakdowns, I've watched him this, you know, over the last month, 2 months, I think he'll fit in this role if we play this formation, but he won't fit if we play that formation. I think those days of a scout have gone. It's all data analysis and do you know what? Half the time, I think they sit there and watch YouTube. Don't actually watch the
well, there is a.
You can get the Opta website.
There's a piece of software, isn't there? There's a piece of software.
There is ways of doing it. Uni courses,
which I find ridiculous. There's a piece of software that you can put in a criteria, can't you? And they will give you the play. I think it's fucking joke. I can't fucking believe what I was reading.
Moneyball system.
Well, it works. It works apart from some of the most important criteria. Yeah. What do they do when the chips are down? What do they do when their contract's on the line? You know, if you put Salah in that, it wouldn't have calculated that Salah was going to have the season he had this season because he got a new contract, would it?
No,
it wouldn't take that into calculation. There was no history of Salah ever doing that before, or Van Dijk.
No, he's turning the corner though. Salah's turning the corner though now, isn't he? Salah's kind of turning the corner.
No, he's finished. Salah is finished.
Oh, John, that's a big call. That is.
Yeah. I saw Liverpool the other day.
You can see Tactical Devil's new short tomorrow where Jarvis says Salah is finished.
No, but you know, I don't mean it in a harsh way. No, you know, that's just the life of a footballer. And when you come to a certain age, and if you're alive, for example, on pace, one day it will catch up. And now he lacks the pace. I saw him in the last game. Who did Liverpool play? It doesn't matter. But I saw him. We had chances that he usually scored on, but you know, he doesn't have the pace anymore.
Anyway, gents, we got one more question. I'm in a world of trouble if you look at the time, a world of pain. And the final question from Jules is, and I do like this question, and that's
you're not allowed to say Roy Keane because everyone fucking says Roy Keane. So when Roy Keane is ruled out,
well, I wouldn't say that. It wouldn't be Roy Keane for me anyway. From the 1990 team, which player would bring the biggest improvement to this Carrick team? One player each.
Carrick.
He didn't play in 99.
He didn't play in 99. The 99 team.
The 99 team. Okay.
You misheard me. You misheard me, didn't you, pal?
The 99 team. Ronnie Johnson, because of his recovery pace. I think he would be excellent as a centre back. We could really push a high line.
Interesting.
For me,
Yeah.
I'm seeing the thing, and I'm like, yeah, I can understand what it is saying. But for me, in this current thing, it'd be one of the 4 strikers, and I would take one of the 4 strikers. I really wouldn't give a shit which one it was.
For me, yeah, Jesper Blomqvist. Absolute. No, I'm joking. Teddy Sheringham.
Oh, Teddy.
Yeah, I think would have made the biggest impact. I know people could say Giggs Skull. I know. I get
Well,
it.
they didn't play in the 99 final. Oh, the 99.
I said 99
I
team.
misread it again. Okay.
Yeah,
Trick
99.
question.
But what I think is Teddy had that spark, that panache. Scholes and Cole and Yorkie were absolutely brilliant. Scholes was brilliant. Bex, Giggs, etc. They were all brilliant. But Teddy would make a big difference. You could bring Teddy on and guarantee you a goal pretty much. The way that he played. I remember watching him away. I can't remember what year it was now. We beat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 away. It was a tight game, very, very tight game. But Sheringham had that one little bit of magic that just unlocked the Wednesday defence, and he scored. So for me, it would be Teddy all day long.
So if you're going Teddy, I'm going to say Coley.
Again, I think no issue with Cole, by the way. Roddy Johnson at all. Cole, yeah.
I think the way Cole finishes, we're crying out for that one-touch finish. And let's be fair, this guy scored all his goals with no penalties. So it'd be perfect to play with Bruno, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right. That's the final question, my old mate. So I'm going to hand you all back to the big man himself, who's got a 4 a.m. Got to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, I have not many hours left until my plane leaves. Yeah, I'm going to Oslo on business. Oslo. I don't like Oslo.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Salah's finished. Oslo, no. Oh dear.
Well, no offense to Oslo, but it's not for me. You know, I'm a regular guy from the small towns. You know, I don't like it. Yeah. Jaap Stam, Retro 77 says he would have in this team, and
I'm disappointed I've not seen one name. And that shows how good Lemons has done you guys, because no one says
Michael, aren't you? You're on about Michael, yeah.
And I think you Michael behind Harry Maguire and that. Forget Onana trying to shout at him. In that friendly. Imagine Schmeichel going mental.
Schmeichel in today's day and age, my life, they would be, HR would be all over the place. He shouted at me. He told me.
Why is he not playing today? Well, he's insulted everyone in the team, and he's currently sat in the office.
Let me tell you something about that particular team, and this is and the one thing that resonated with me was when Ollie did his the overlap or stick to football. He was talking about a lot of things, wasn't he? Talked about players, talked about a lot of things. But one thing stuck to me more than anything about that particular team. He was ready to lamp Roy Keane. He was going to punch Roy Keane.
I've had a punch up in the hotel.
At half time. No, but he said...
Ollie.
Schmeichel and Roy Keane went on it. Yeah,
sorry.
But Ollie. Now, people look at Ollie, don't they? The baby-faced assassin, but wouldn't melt in his mouth. That said everything about that team to me. That Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would punch... He went for him. He was going to go for him.
But they're like that as well.
They're great friends. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? It just goes to show what that mentality was like back then. And that's what the thing I took about. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you the story. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, me old mate, sorry.
Yeah, I was just reading some comments because Danny B said Giggs and Scholes.
Oh, yes.
Boxing comes in and say Ola Gunnar on the counter.
Yes,
That would
yes.
probably be a player. And Jules, he loved Ronnie Johnson, and same do I. You know, I would love Ronnie Johnson as a guest on the show. I even sent him an invite, but
You keep
he never
inviting.
responded.
You keep
So-
inviting.
Yeah.
A lot of people said Yorkie, Dwight York. Sheringham did get a few.
Yeah, I know who hasn't come up. No, Beckham.
Yeah.
Would
In
you
the
not
world
agree,
of
though?
set pieces, we are number 2.
Yeah,
in
but
the
we
fucking
need a
Premier League.
right winger. We have Ahmad and Mbumo. So
Let me
again,
ask
you know,
let me ask you this:
Yeah, he
would you
wouldn't
not
get me playing
consider
midfield.
though? Would you not consider that team to be that good? Picking one player
Yeah.
is really hard.
Yeah.
That's why I like the question. Absolutely.
Well, even
love
if
the question.
That 2008 thing against Arsenal.
Yeah.
When you look at it and you list the 2008 squad out, and you look at Arsenal and you're like,
I know. I don't even know
the
that.
only questionable one for me would be the 2 centre backs. Like, are literally talking like they're identical. Yeah, so that for me that's the same. But Carrick and Rice are probably the only ones where you might say you intertwine them. Everyone else, United win hand down.
I can't even believe Walcott had the balls to even say it. What the fuck are we doing? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I literally looked at it, I was like, Carrick and Rice are the only 2. And they're different kinds of players.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, they got a front 3 for any team would want in any history. You know, Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney.
Oh, I think it's the
Scholes
best.
is still in midfield. You know, look at the wingers. Oh, I was just like, you fucking dickhead. Like, I can't believe you said that. Did you think there was a bet? Or he was on the old earpiece?
There must have been something. I don't know what the fuck was going on in his mind, but
read
anyway.
after me.
Yes. Anyway, that rounds up Q&A. Me and Jarvis, we're not back tomorrow, are we, pal? Then
no, I will be away on business, and I might be away all the way until Sunday, but I will be able to do a show, so I bring my laptop. But so Thursday show will be the next one, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Danny B's, he liked the show. Retro, great shout. Yeah.
Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin, yes, Dennis Irwin.
Yeah.
He would replace Luke Shaw then in today's team.
He could have replaced Luke Shaw. He could replace Dallo.
Yeah, he could have played right.
He could have replaced anywhere. He could have replaced anyone.
He was right-footed, wasn't he? Played on left.
He was brilliant. Yeah, well, he was both. Play left and right.
Yeah.
Was Irwin in the 1919?
No. He didn't make the
I
night.
don't think he was.
No,
Wes Brown. No one mentioned Wes Brown.
No.
There's a reason for that.
No, he didn't play in the 99, did he? No. I'm thinking of the 2008. He played in the 2008, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave you. I've got the answer. No one's thought of this.
Which one?
Okay.
How would we improve this team? It's not a player. We take Ferguson.
Oh, well, yeah, get Fergie back, wouldn't you?
We bring Ferguson in, and that's on that bombshell. as they say.
Fergie.
Apparently, Irvin was in the 99 squad,
He
so
wasn't
thank you
playing. He
for...
was in the squad, but he
He
wasn't.
didn't play, did he? Yeah, he didn't play.
Read the question, Mark. Read the question. The question was the 99 squad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the squad, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Squad.
Big up, people. It's been a great show. 2 hours, 38 minutes. I wasn't supposed to do the last 40 minutes because I'm on a plane tomorrow morning. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, Noradin. People, go subscribe to United Real Therapy. And all the rest of you legends, Johnny Mode, Boxing Straight Talk, Jules, and the Madness. Who else? We have Danny B, Retro 77, Nikki T. All of you legends. Is it just me? Thank you, everybody, for the questions and the NILP, all of your comments and, keeping the channel alive. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, everybody. Have a splendid remainder of Monday, or is it Tuesday now, maybe?
It's getting close. It's getting close to Tuesday.
It's getting close. And Stu and I will be back on Thursday, so no show tomorrow, unfortunately. But everybody, have a good night and see you on the next. Bye.
Care, guys.
Bye. Yep, by the way, go subscribe to Mark's channel,
Yes.
United Lens. I forgot to say. Sorry, Mark. How many subs do you have now?
95.
We're
So
getting
95.
close.
Five of you just get over there, and I hit my magic 100.
Get
Yeah,
over to
close.
United Lens, subscribe to Mark's channel. Thank you, everybody. It's been a great show, and good night. Bye-bye.